guys? Welcome to Cold Film Interview, the podcast where we discuss the films you love, but no one else gets me. See if they still hold up. Tonight, we're warping through pipes. Well, more like falling through solid rock. But we're still stomping on Goombas' heads. Well, more like dancing with them in elevators. But at least we're in the Mushroom Kingdom. Okay, more like Dino Hatton. Because we're talking about Super Mario Brothers from 1993. So let's start the show. Thanks for joining the cult. We really appreciate it. Do us a favor. Head over to iTunes. Leave us a review. If you do, we will give you a shout out at the end of the show. Unfortunately, we don't have any to do this month. So you have a whole month to race over to iTunes. Leave us that review, and we will give you a shout out at the end of the show. Make sure you head over to cultfilminterview.com and you get in your fan picks so that you never know. We may pick your movie, just like Cherry 2000 was a fan pick. You may be next. So head over to cultfilminterview if you can get .com. If you can get that to work, then you can put your fan review in. It's like pulling the sword from the stone. It's a rite of passage if you can get the website to work and get a fan pick in. You're more than likely.
You get it to load.
You're more than likely to get picked. So pretty great thing there. Today we're going to be talking about Super Mario Brothers from 1993. But before we do, as always, myself, I'm joined by Michael Slucio.
Hello, everybody.
Chris Willenberg.
Hey, what's up?
And Kyle Smith.
Hey, how's it going?
Like I said, tonight we're talking about Super Mario Bros. It was directed by Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel. And it was written by Parker Bennett, Terry Runtle, and Ed Solomon, which it's actually written by way more people than that.
Yes.
It's starring Bob Hopkins, John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper, and Samantha Mathis. Mathis, is that her name? Yeah. Came out in 1993, had a budget of $48 million, made $39 million in the box office, sits at a PG rating. This is weird. Don't know if we've had this in the show before, but it currently has the same score on Rotten Tomatoes, critic and audience, which is 29%. 29%. Rare.
Very rare.
That they line that. I've never really seen anything line up like that for audience score. This was Mike's pick. Mike, why'd you pick Super Mario Brothers from 1993?
Oh, man, I just feel like this is a film that maybe was, and we'll talk about it, just maybe unnecessarily like shit upon because it's, like it's known for just like not following the source material in any way. It's known for like being bad and like it had a really tumultuous kind of production cycle and like it was just like all these things that kind of came together and it bombed pretty heavily at the box office. But I feel like it's starting to get like a kind of a second look, particularly because a newer Mario Brother movie has come out, pretty much well received across the board. Critics liked it, audiences liked it, but I just kind of wanted to go back to this one because I feel like from a cult film perspective, this one definitely hits all of those marks more so than obviously the newer animated one, which is kind of more mainstream and more digestible for a wide range of audiences. As where this one almost seemingly didn't know what audience it was really going for, and I think that's kind of part of the beauty of it.
Awesome. No, I agree 100% with everything you said. So let's rate this Mammer Jammer. No.
Did you see it in theaters?
I did see it in theaters.
I feel like I saw it in theaters as well. What about you, Chris?
No, I didn't see it in theaters. This was like a video rental for me as a kid. But it really did feel like a first-time watch again for me, I'll say.
Yes, because it's actually very different watching this movie through adult eyes.
Yes.
Very different. What about you, Kyle?
I didn't feel that way. I saw this in theaters. I saw this at the Dollar Theater when it first came out. But no, on this watch, like it's funny. I nothing felt different to me.
Okay.
And this is a weird thing because we've reviewed a lot of childhood films, you know. And I feel like watching them, it's like, man, a greater appreciation for maybe some of the writing or a great appreciation of storytelling. And I'm like watching this movie, and the whole time I'm like, yeah, my brain was checking out because I like had all these scenes memorized, and I must have just seen this movie a shitload as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you guys seen? I've probably seen this film probably over 15 times.
I'm probably up there. Yeah,
I'm probably the same.
One time before
One
this.
time? Okay.
Yeah.
You only saw
Like,
it
I'm
one
never
time
going back
before
to this
this?
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was probably on that rental early on. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I was like hook, line, and sinker for all the marketing. Like I had the toys.
Well, yeah, we were all playing fucking Mario at the time too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I was the perfect age to fall.
Yeah, 93.
that.
So we were what, 8? Something like that?
Yeah, 8,
yeah,
9.
like 7 or
Mike
8
was
in there.
30,
32?
38,
32.
actually. 38.
4. Carry the 1.
Yeah. 642.
You know,
Looks
I
like-
feel like I kind of missed this a little bit. Like I know it was marketed pretty heavily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
this was the first like quote unquote like video game kind of movie like
Yeah.
that they really put. Nintendo was all in on it.
Well, this
when
is
it came out.
93, and we've looked up
Yeah.
93 before, and that was a heavy hitting year for big.
Yeah, 93,
Yes.
94,
releases,
95 are all like bangers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like it kind of got maybe a little swallowed by like wasn't Jurassic Park 93?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it got swallowed because of the competition. I think because think about this, 93, Super Mario Bros. 3 is probably out, the
yeah.
big game
I
then?
actually at this point Super Mario World is already
Yeah,
out
that's
what
because
I
was
Yoshi
thinking.
is
the
character.
is a
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
So like Mario's huge at this point. So Mario Brothers movie coming out would be just as
Yeah.
like would be on like as big as like when the Mortal Kombat movie came out for
Mm,
Yeah,
kids.
you're
would
right. I
think.
have very distinct memories of seeing like the trailer quite a few times as a kid.
It's the poster that's burned in my memory with
Yeah.
the boots.
100%.
The
yes.
boots.
The
yeah,
boots.
the
Like
It has
yeah.
it has a really cool poster. Like I will say that the poster because it angles them in a way that their feet look gigantic
Right.
comparatively to the rest of their body, and it's like in this M,
Yeah.
this big giant M. None of which really feel like it's a Mario thing. Like
No.
like it's when we could talk about like the
Well,
design and stuff
no,
like
so
that
that
later
kind
on.
of
But
kind of brings me to a little bit of a topic I want to talk to you that doesn't have it has to do with this film, but not necessarily about just this film, because it reminds me of kind of what's going on with pop culture today and what we get with what I like to call the adaptation. Because this is obviously an adaptation of the video game. This is not like they go far from the source material.
mhm.
And you see this even currently, and people tend to like really hate it. And I don't necessarily hate it. And I'm like, is that because of the growing up when I grew up and seeing so many different adaptations of things that I knew of, but didn't care if the movie was different or because like in my mind, I'm like video game storytelling is a very distinct thing, right? Like like Halo is the most current thing I can think of, the Halo TV show.
Mhm.
People don't like it because it doesn't exactly follow the source material
Yeah.
100%. I love the show. I think it's very entertaining. But it's an adaptation of the video game. Because and the people get upset, but I'm like, yeah, but video game and film are two different mediums and two different ways of telling a story. And so they don't necessarily always transfer over the best. So you do have to make adaptations to the original source material. You like even the
Here's
newest
my
Doom.
thing. Here's
Yeah,
my
Doom
thing.
was a
Yeah,
huge hit.
you're making a really great point that I agree with, but like when I was watching this movie, like there's a part of me that absolutely for the fan nerd in me wants it to follow the source material as closely as possible, but there's also the filmmaker or the film fan in me that's fine with it deviating from the story. But this movie and a lot of the other video game movies that came out following this in the 90s, it felt like it wasn't like we deviated from the source material. It was like the guy who wrote it like read the back of the box and said, "I got it."
So that's basically kind of how this happened.
That is how this one happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Like the
where I
writer
struggle
maybe
with
played the
it 'cause
game
I'm like, that's
one
just
day.
so far
Yeah.
away. Yeah,
But like honestly, think about the game though. At this time, if they're playing like, let's say they're playing the original,
They probably
there's not
Well,
much story source
they
to
had
go
4
off
games,
of.
well, more than 4 probably, but like yeah, I'm guessing they probably played the original.
Yeah, there's not much story to go off of, like to get from those original games, right? You're like, okay,
I mean, not really. There's some aspects of it that I feel like do follow the game fairly. I don't want to say well. We're not gonna say well,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's definitely design aspects where I feel like the designer paid attention to like what the video game looked like, especially like some of the dungeons in Super Mario 3 and maybe Super Mario World. I feel like if you look at the and the guy that did the set design of this was the same guy that did Blade Runner. So if you
Shows.
couldn't tell, right? Yeah. Like, so, I mean, he did a good job of like merging the video game with like this dystopian kind of like alternate dimension that they end up showing in. But like, other than that, no, like like Koopa's a human being in this one. They didn't go with a giant lizard.
Right. Well, because
they use the princess from the Game Boy game,
right.
Princess Daisy. They don't use Princess Peach.
I was going to ask when Daisy came. Daisy existed before this movie?
Yes,
Daisy
the Game Boy
did.
game.
Yeah, I believe she was in. I think Super Mario Land was when she was first introduced.
This I know this because I researched it because I was like, yeah, Daisy's the princess in this one.
Right.
What's her origin story? Because I don't feel like I even know I know Daisy from the video games now because like she's in all the sports titles and kart games and all that stuff. But I've never known like her backstory, so I had to go and like look it up to figure out where the fuck is she from.
She's not in Mario 64, is she?
No, she's not. She's not in any of.
That's why I kind of thought she was created by this movie and they kind of adopted.
No,
her.
there are things that I'm kind of a little disappointed. Like they could have just a little bit of extra work. They probably could have gotten some stuff in. Like Mario's girlfriend in this is what's her name? Daniela, I believe, and who I love her character and stuff like that. But like they could have went with Pauline, who would have been his girlfriend from Donkey Kong, and has made repeated like returns in the series. Like she's.
This is an adaptation, guys.
Yeah, I know, but I think one of the things that I think the animated film does really, really well as a Nintendo fan is they absolutely jam pack it with Easter eggs and
source material.
They make a ton of references to games that like unless you're a diehard, you probably wouldn't know about.
But I noticed that in this movie, for the first time as well. Like I noticed when they were driving around, like they're making references to Mario Kart, like the turnpike and shit. Like those are all references to that.
I mean, yeah, somewhat, but it's not like Rainbow Road. It's not like like it's not references to Wrecking Crew.
Well, you
like
wouldn't
some
have,
old
you wouldn't
game
have
that Mario
Rainbow
was
Road
in
a grounded reality.
And again, I think that is a problem. Is like how are you gonna like you can call your place the Thwomp Club, sure, but like showing an actual giant brick that like has a face, like maybe they probably were like, hey, let's try to ground this a little bit in reality.
Well,
a lot of
before we get too far into the movie, because we haven't even got the plots with Mike, but I was just talking about adaptations and like where people kind of stand on those. Like, I guarantee you, most fan films don't like adaptations. I think I would say most fans of whatever the adaptation is don't like the adaptation. But this movie is, in my opinion, is a great example of what not to do, but also what to do with an adaptation. Like, if you're not going to follow the source material, might as well just go fucking as far away from it as you can then and make it as wacky as possible. But I don't know. I just think it's a weird thing in fandom where we're at to where we can't change some source materials at all, but in some people's opinions, to fit whatever medium you're trying to show it in, if that's film, video games, or whatever.
I think
it's definitely swung in the opposite direction, because I do feel like for basically up until the last 20 years, like everything, like a movie would be based on a video game. I would be like bummed when I heard a movie was coming. I'm like, it's not going to be like the game. They're going to fucking change everything.
Pretty much.
And then like I feel like with the comic book movies, with specifically probably Marvel driving home, like, oh, let's be really, honest to the source material. And I feel like that has then kicked off this last 20-year trend of stuff going that way.
Even the video game movies that have been in that trend, I would say the only ones that have been successful out of them that I can think of off the top of my head is the Sonic movies.
I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah.
And those are the only ones that I can think of that
I think Mortal Kombat.
Well, Mortal Kombat,
okay.
it did
the
okay.
Newer Mortal Kombat.
Did good,
But anything else like Assassin's Creed didn't do well.
No.
Need for Speed didn't
I
do
think
well.
There was definitely a trying to discovery period where it was like Prince of Persia, and then it was like these
I
Assassin's
actually
Creed
like the
movie and
Prince of
stuff.
Persia
I'm not
movie.
saying that they're bad. Like I'm just saying that like
that Jake Gyllenhaal, didn't it?
Yeah, they had like there was an era where they were like, okay, let's try it. I feel like there was a transition period between that and where we are now, where I feel like and my personal opinion is that I think that relying too heavily on the source material can actually be a very big negative for a film. I do feel like it's kind of hurt writing a little bit in some of the newer
100%.
films.
Yeah,
So,
I want something that's kind of in between, but leans a little closer to like staying true to the source material. Like, maybe like, if I'm looking at a range here, I want like a little more this.
Well, that's my I guess with my like the Halo show, like everybody's pissed off because he barely wears the helmet, right?
That's like a weird thing to be annoyed about, though.
I mean, yeah.
But I get it. But like,
And he's also a nameless character. He doesn't even speak in the games, does he?
Yeah, but he's the Cortana. But but in the show they show his face a lot, and I'm like, well, you fucking, and all the fans that are complaining about it, I'm like, you idiots, like you spend hours with that character, making that character survive through, an alien invasion or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course you're attached to it without a mask on. But somebody who doesn't know what the fuck Halo is, who's coming into the show the first time, is probably going to need to see a human face to connect to the character.
Yeah. I'm going to assume he's probably a robot if I don't see his face.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why Spider-Man and, like, especially the Sam Raimi films is constantly taking his goddamn mask off.
Right.
Like, throughout the whole thing, he's ripping it off. Like, and you're like, somebody had to have seen it. Can you imagine in a world of cell phones that he doesn't get captured at least once?
Right.
But, like, I mean, as an actor, I imagine that you get a script like that, and I have to wonder if, like, Pedro Pascal was like, I wear a helmet the entire time I'm playing this Star Wars character. Like, and at some point in time, he must be like, I mean, don't I get to take it off at least once? I don't know. Maybe he did, but I just think for the medium of film, it's probably not best to always put somebody in a mask because you're taking away one of the most powerful aspects of filmmaking storytelling, which is the visual.
Well, and even with like going with your example of someone who does pretty much wear a mask for the whole series, like but the bounty hunter thing, that mythos has been around for 30, 40, 50 years, where Halo is not, has been around for a long time, but not nearly that long to where all of nerddom knows that he doesn't, you know what I mean?
But the size and scale of which the wildfire of how it became popular is so much further than the mythos of bounty hunters in Star Wars.
We're definitely closing in on 30 years on Halo, though, right?
Yeah.
When
Yes.
Halo
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
It is nuts. Chris, you have a lot to add to this conversation about video games.
Chris, can you stop talking? So one
now
of
we've
us can
gotten
jump
like
in.
the full history of Halo.
It's just about adaptations.
That's what people
And,
are tuning
even
in
books,
for.
even book adaptations are the same way. Like anytime someone reads a fucking book and there's a movie that comes out, you always hear the people who are like, the only book and the only movie that you hear people go, well, that was fucking better, is The Mist. That's it.
I mean,
That's it.
I reread Jurassic Park. I didn't like.
Well,
I don't know. Some people
Jurassic
might
Park
say The Shining is
some
more,
people have argued that The Shining,
the
film
movie is better than the book.
Than the book.
Yeah, like I mean, there's lots of
That
arguments.
can happen to Stephen King.
Yeah,
he's
it
not
can happen to
great.
Stephen King
He's not
often.
great at endings.
Yeah,
he's not
I
great
mean,
at endings.
That is true.
That's why
I don't
The
know.
Mist
I feel
is
like
so much
there's
better.
A few other books maybe that the film has been better. Not to mention all the films that you're probably not. You know the big books, but like how many times have you
The
looked,
Bible, you mean?
Yeah, you know
the
the
big
Bible.
book.
The big book.
I have seen that.
No,
movie.
but I mean, how
That's
many
what Mike
times have you
refers to
watched?
it in this house.
Have you watched a movie and been like, "Hey, I really like that film," and then you go like
Yes.
to Wikipedia and you find out that it's a novel that you never read, and you're like, "Where the fuck
Yeah,
did this?"
then I
come
go
from?
Yeah, it was probably
try to
written by
read that
Richard
novel?
Matheson too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
That's happened quite a bit. All right, guys. Well, you know what? Let's stop talking about adaptations because Chris is ready to move on.
Yeah,
if he
he
talks
is. He
anymore
looks
about
mad.
Halo,
Yeah.
You can't get him to shut up about Halo. Let me be
he
honest.
won't stop. It's like, Chris,
Super fan.
stop. But he won't. I say we get to. It's time for plots and shots with Mike.
All right, in this version of Super Mario, we live in a world where the meteorite has hit the Earth, but it didn't kill the dinosaurs. It sent them into an alternate dimension. And while they're there, they're kind of stuck in this underground thing. Things have not gone well for these dinos, okay? But one escapes. It is the queen of this realm of dinosaurs, right? And she manages to get her daughter out safely and into the world of Brooklyn, our world of Brooklyn, the mammal world of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And she gives it to a bunch of nuns, right? She's eventually caught by Koopa, and collapse happens where the portal meets between these two worlds, and she is lost, right? And then that cuts to the Mario Brothers, and the Mario Brothers are some plumbers who are, they're kind of down on their luck a little bit, like they're always looking for work, that kind of thing. Mario is like this is like the stalwart older brother, and Luigi is kind of more of like the maybe like wet behind the ears kind of guy that he's very passionate, but like he's also very like impulsive, right? Through their journey trying to find work, they come across Daisy, who is a paleontologist that is working at a local like dig site that happens to be right there in Brooklyn. And she's like, yeah, I'm having some problems with this guy Scapelli. He's like this mob boss that owns everything. And I would, like if you could help me like get down there. And Luigi takes a liking to this girl. They end up kind of dating. But in the process of trying to kind of stop Scapelli and his weird kind of shenanigans that he's doing over there, they get sucked into the world of the dinosaurs. And Daisy is captured by Koopa. And it is up to the Mario Brothers to now save Daisy and bring her back to Brooklyn.
Wow.
That's his best one.
Oh.
Excellent.
That's the best one he's ever done.
Fits.
Come on, that's crazy.
15 times.
That's crazy. He knows this movie. All right, Mike, you got the shot for us here. What are we sipping on? It's very interesting looking.
All right, I got very experimental with this one, guys. And true to its name, this one's called Trust the Fungus. And you really are going to need to trust me on this one. Take a sip, I guess, and then we'll have our thoughts on
Question.
this. Yeah.
Because this is the first drink we've had with snacks included.
Yeah,
Yes.
should I eat snack
So
first?
Should I snack first or snack after?
I would snack after.
It's a
I would
palate
snack
cleanser.
I
after.
kind of want to. You don't want me to cleanse my palate before I,
Or you could, actually. Let's try it with
because
it.
I've got Mai Tai in my mouth right now.
I have
Okay,
nothing,
okay, let's
I have
not
nothing
do
in
that.
my mouth. I have water.
I'm not gonna pre.
Yeah. Okay.
You
All
should.
right, Paul.
Have you tried that drink already?
I have tried this drink many times.
Delicious pizza cracker.
It actually does taste like pizza. It's really good.
5 out of 5 for Mike's snack.
Pizza crack. Mike's
right.
snack, pizza crackers.
All right.
Trust the fungus. Are we ready? Let's
I'm
see how
ready.
we guys.
I'm gonna smell
feel
it
about
first.
this.
I
I smell alcohol. That's all I
Yep.
smell.
Yep.
It's booze.
Smells very classy.
There's like not a lot going on up front, but then it like finishes long.
I'm into it. It tastes like something I'm familiar with.
It kind of reminds
yeah.
me. I mean, it's got like old-fashioned
Old-fashioned.
vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
very
it's like an
smooth.
old fashioned.
It's very
Okay.
like it hits hard and then smooths out right at the end.
Yep.
Okay. No
I like
one's
it.
picking up anything at the end in
Let
particular.
me see. I gotta get this.
Wait,
It's
hold
weird in
on.
my
There's a
mouth.
weird flavor,
Take-
but I don't know what
Okay.
it
Well,
is.
I had pizza in my mouth. Hold on.
Mhm.
Man, it's definitely a sipping drink. That's for sure.
Damn old fashioned.
Okay. I sense
Something
somebody
happens.
saying.
Something happens. At
Something
the back
happens
end
at the
there.
end. Okay, so
It
I'm
goes from sweet to all of a sudden this weird, like
Bitter.
flat, salty, bitter thing, and then
Okay.
it
It
finishes.
hits the back of your tongue.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you what it is. Okay, so this cocktail
It's like sharp.
is
But dull.
uses an infused mushroom whiskey is what I
Okay.
used.
I definitely taste the
I
whiskey.
literally
It's
took
fantastic.
mushrooms and I infused a whiskey. I took dried shiitake mushrooms. I threw it into a whiskey. I infused that for 24 hours. And we use this. And the other cocktail that I smashed this kind of into to get the inspiration is a cocktail called the Brooklyn, which is a variation on the Manhattan. So
Okay.
the Brooklyn is whiskey and it's dry vermouth, a little bit of maraschino liqueur, and a little bit of like an Italian Amaro. So
Yeah.
I took that and I just infused a mushroom whiskey, tried it out. I have like when you taste it at first, you're just kind of like, oh, you don't even taste the mushroom. It's always at the tail end that the mushroom kind of just creeps in, and you're like, what is that flavor?
In my nose now, like that I've had a couple sips. Like
Yeah.
I'm getting the earthiness of the mushroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I be honest? It's too subtle. I kind of wish. I kind of want to try it after it's been infused for like a week.
Okay, if I did that, I'm afraid that this would be an undrinkable drink because
We don't know. We don't know. I'm just saying.
Because you were-
get essence of it, and almost it's like what Chris said. It's more like the aroma of mushrooms kind of
Okay.
comes and goes a little bit, but like I feel like you could lean a little harder.
I
into
tried.
it.
So I'll tell you what I did, and this is an interesting thing for anybody who's into making cocktails. Like about the thing I love about cocktails is that it really lets you like explore palates really well, like because you see how sweet and salty and everything works together. I originally made this with a mushroom infused Applejack, which was like a sweeter kind of
Yeah.
whiskey, but it's made
Right.
from apples,
Yeah.
right? And that did not go over well. Like, I tasted it, and the way it rolled out was like, it was nice and sweet, and all of a sudden it was like the mushroom came and wanted to fight for its supremacy. Like, it just came in.
Yeah.
It was like, like a meaning. And I realized that, like, it needed to be a drier cocktail to, like, allow the mushroom to be, like, to just kind of step in and just say hello. Like, hello, how are you? Like,
There's like
interesting.
you don't want them
grow in
shitting
moist
all over your
climates.
floor. You just want them to have a seat and maybe hang out a little bit.
maybe this is just me, but I'm getting like a weird like alkaline-y vibe.
I think that's the mushroom for sure. The earthiness comes in. There's some sulfuric feeling.
Yeah.
I don't hate the drink. I like the drink.
I actually don't think it's that bad. I just think that if you were
One of my faves.
Very slow
my
sipper.
my
Very
fear was
slow
that
for
if you
zipper.
were very like if you're not into that earthiness, I think that somebody who drank this would immediately pick up on it and hate it.
You know what I think it would go well with is cigar.
That's what I mean. This is the
Old-fashioned
type of drink
Manhattan,
Yeah.
that I wouldn't be having at like 9:30 in the morning when
Right.
we're recording today. Like, if this was like a steak dinner drink,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like if you had a nice porterhouse and you served me this, I'd be like, this is
Nice
wonderful.
nightcap. This is
Yeah,
nice, like
totally.
sipper
Yeah.
sitting on the
This
back
would work
porch.
well.
Nice
This is a
nightcap.
light night kind of drink, but
Yeah.
I also do think this is, out of all the drinks I've made thus far, I feel like this is the one that felt like captured the essence of the movie the most. I feel like this is something they would have drank in this weird dino
Oh, they were
world.
drinking.
Yeah. Oh, they were drinking. I don't know what they were drinking, but they were definitely drinking something.
All right,
5
guys.
out of 5, man. That's what my vote
This
is.
is really
I am
good.
so happy
Yeah,
I like
to
this
hear
one.
that.
5.
I was very like, this is either going to be a disaster or people are going to like,
And I think pairing it with the pizza cracker, good call.
yeah,
This is a good
it
call.
needed something savory to like enhance its
It's
feeling.
good though. I like it. It is a very.
I
nice
feel like
sipping
Kyle's
drink.
the one person that's like not on board with this one.
It's a weird one for me.
Okay.
There's just there's a strange element of like sweet up front that then like fades away
Down
and
for
then
Ruth.
leaves this weird kind of
it-
slight aftertaste in the back of your tongue.
It almost hits you at first in a good way, like a Sour Patch Kid, and then
Okay.
it kind of, but it doesn't dull off to the sweet. It kind of dulls off to like a more earthy,
Like
kind of-
umami.
yeah, which I like. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
Like,
and have you ever eaten moldy bread?
No.
You
That's
get
this
the
drink.
same feeling.
Like, everybody's like, no. Why would we know?
No. Are
I
you
mean,
okay?
I've accidentally eaten moldy bread, and it leaves this taste in the back of your throat. That's kind of what you're describing.
like pure. It's like metal.
It just dries you out. It
Yeah.
just dries you out a little bit, like on the inside,
I'll give this a 4 out of 5.
5 out of 5, man. This
Yeah,
is
it's pretty good.
delicious.
I like it.
Glad you
And
guys
I
like
might
it.
eat this mushroom. I don't know yet. We'll see.
I mean, you could try.
Stick around to find out.
All right, guys. So let's get into it. Let's start talking about Super Mario Brothers 1993. First off, man, the opening scene of this movie is straight out of the fucking Omen. Like, it's such a horror movie. It's a really weird vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, watching this, I didn't think anything of it as a kid, but now watching it as an adult and then also going just through the catalog of movies that we have seen,
Yeah.
like, you get very much like we're dropping off a Satan baby
Mm-hmm.
at this church. Yeah, because it hatches from a fucking egg, dude.
Yeah.
But before that, you get this weird cartoon. Hey, I'm from Brooklyn, and the dinosaurs came, a meteorite crashed, and now there's 2 universes. Have fun, Satan.
All done in like a what? Like a 8-bit style?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like it's supposed to be an 8-bit style, but
Not
I
quite,
can I tell you
yeah.
something? It looks like an old CD-ROM,
Yeah.
like educational thing
It's a
that
cutscene.
they gave you at school.
Yes, yeah.
PlayStation
Yeah.
1 cutscene.
Something off of like Windows 95.
Oh no, it's like it's like a Windows like Oregon Trail cutscene
Yeah.
almost, but with color. You know.
I found it endearing. I liked it.
No,
did
I
too.
love it too. I find it endearing as well because it's a very funny, like lighthearted opening thing about the dinosaurs being around.
I do
Yeah.
feel like
And then-
the opening is a callback, though, to like the world of the strange that Luigi was obsessed with. Like the way they did that, it felt like that would show up on that show.
This movie feels like because so correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. I think you might know a little bit
Okay.
more about this movie or not. We're not the greatest experts in research, but there was like 9 different writers on
Yeah,
this film.
you want me to just go through it real
Yeah.
quick? We'll
Yes.
briefly say. Okay, so the way that this film was rolled out was this was like one of the first like video game movies to ever really hit, right? And they were like, okay, we're gonna go with Mario Brothers. So they went to Nintendo, and surprisingly, Nintendo was super on board with it, like right from the get-go. But their thought process was the Mario brand is way too strong. Even if this film sucks, it's not going to be that big of a deal, right?
Right.
So they
correct. They were correct.
I mean, yeah, I guess they to a
It's
degree
weird that
they
they
were.
were put in that position because if they were doing so well, like, why would they even take a risk on a movie sucking?
Because I think to them it's like, hey, we can get this brand out to another new audience, right? That's what the whole reason of bringing things into a cinematic world is to like,
right.
Oh, okay, if this gets big, then this is gonna bring in new people.
Like, oh, hey, the kids already know about it, but so mom and dad need to know about it, and grandma and grandpa need to know about it.
You think mom and dad don't already know about Mario? They're fighting with each other to get the next Mario game on Christmas.
So they know, but
it's kind of weird because you told me this came later. Like, we were already at 3 when this came out, and I'm like, wow, there's already like such a legacy of this game.
This is in the Super NES. This is like towards the first few years of the Super
But that's also
NES.
the thing, though. That's also the way to look at it too, Chris. Like at this point, think about it. We're on the 4th game of this part. We know that Mario's brand is so big and it's a marketing juggernaut at this time that even if we have a bad movie, it's not going to kill it.
Yeah.
But if we have a good movie, Mario's the next Mickey.
Right.
Sure.
And then I think that's something that Nintendo, and we're seeing to this day, has definitely been aiming for, right? Like we now have Universal Studios. We have a Nintendo World, right? Like you can literally go there. And Mario, I think, is the most recognizable
Plumber.
For sure. For sure the most recognizable. I think he might even be one of the most recognizable mascots worldwide. Like even just slightly below like Mickey Mouse or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like super.
He's in the top 5.
He's in the top one.
I mean, he's no Sonic.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, he's got his own restaurant.
I mean,
I'm not going to
Sonic is
Mario's.
pretty popular.
Yeah, I'm going to Sonic.
I'm not going to Mario's. I'm going to Sonic.
So the way they went with a kind of like not like kind of an independent studio. I think it was Imagine. What was it?
May have won the console wars, but he won the restaurant wars.
I don't see Mario showing up with no fucking chili cheese coney dogs.
I don't see him fucking working the grill.
The people that produced this film.
Sorry.
Were the guys that did The Killing Field, the movie The Killing Field, about like the Cambodian like the slaughtering of like
they were so correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. From what I understand was Nintendo's position was we can't go wrong making this. So we're going to go to Hollywood and we're not going to pitch a movie. We're going to listen to everybody's pitches.
Yeah, I mean, but they went with the one that was like...
They're indie filmmakers.
Right, and they essentially were like, hey, here's a thing, and they got a writer to come in, and originally this film was very, very dark. Like, way darker than it came out,
well,
right?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's already pretty dark.
And they were kind of like, and to their surprise, they were like, we love it. Let's go for it. Cool. Awesome. Right? So then they were like, next thing up, let's get some actors. They got Bob Hoskins. They get John Leguizamo. There were some other people floated around for Mario. Tom Hanks at one point wanted to take on the role. Somebody else, Danny DeVito. Was up there, and it was
okay with that.
Conflicts and stuff like that led that to, and eventually
Mario,
it led to Bob Hoskins. They got all the actors, then they got the directors, and it was Jenkel and who was the other?
No, I think was it Jenkel and because they're a husband and wife.
They're a husband and wife.
Rocky Morton and Annabelle.
But I don't know. Was it
Jenkel.
them at first? Because,
yes, it was.
Okay, because then they got fired and they got
no,
rehired?
not really. No. So the way that this goes down is they come onto the set, right, and they've only done
husband and wife team.
Yeah, husband and wife team. They've only done like one film. I think it was License to Drive, but maybe I might be wrong about that.
License to Drive.
I think you are right, but I'm not.
It was something. They'd only done really one film. What they had been known for doing was music videos. They were music video directors, right? And they came on the set, and from the get-go, they were basically like control freaks. They were disliked by the crew. They were disliked by the cast. Like everyone disliked them. They came in. They brought in their own writers to do punch-ups on the script. It went back to Nintendo. Nintendo was like, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know. It went back to another set of writers, and I think even one more time before it eventually went back to the directors. The directors were unhappy. At one point in time, the studio had to make it where the directors were not allowed to even talk to the writers or something at some point. They also had to keep them out of the editing room because they were just so disliked.
Such a problem.
Well, no, because here's the problem with them. They were a husband and wife team. From what I read, they would do this. They'd be like, "Hey, Chris, do me a favor. I'm Rocky right now. Chris, could you do me a favor? Go ahead and move your mic over to the right, and then I'd walk away, and then Annabelle would come over and be like, "Hey, Chris, go ahead and move your microphone over to the left."
Yes, there's a bunch of they weren't communicating. That was like I think Dennis Hopper specifically pointed that out in an interview. Said that like the problem with them is that like they were both control freaks, but they never communicated. So like it was always that. And eventually what this led to was the cast and crew openly hating them. They would wear T-shirts with things that they had said on the set and mock them relentlessly.
Like write like quotes on their shirt and wear it in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a story, and I don't know how true it is.
I love it.
Where Rocky had there was an extra, and he didn't like the way that the costume looked, so he threw burning hot coffee on him.
Oh, that's a step too far.
Right. But he comes back and says, "Oh no, it wasn't that. I was trying to make it dirty, and I sprayed coffee. I didn't realize it was hot." He tried to like
fuck out of here.
Maybe right. Asshole. Who knows whatever happened? So, anyways, that all went down, and according to John Leguizamo, he said, I think the quote is something like, "But the good thing is that the worse the movie, the better the partying," and what that led to was. They were drunk pretty much the entire thing.
Like
Bob
camp.
Hoskins actually broke his hand. You know the scene where they're driving the
door,
van
right?
around? Yeah, they're driving. At one point in time, they were doing shots of scotch backstage, and like somebody came up and they were like, "Hey, we got a driving scene we got to do," and they were like, "No stunt people?" They're like, "No, like John, Bob, get in the fucking van." They get in the van and they're driving, and I guess at one point in time he hits the gas too hard, and then he slammed on the brakes, and the door, which is a sliding door, slammed on Bob Hoskins' hand, broke his hand. And he had to be in a cast pretty much the entire.
I kept watching the movie looking for his hands.
It was
I kept seeing all the gloved.
Yeah,
he was gloved. He's well gloved. They even cut to him finding gloves and make it a point like, "Oh, cool, gloves."
Yeah, it's a big thing. People have asked. Both Bob Hoskins and Dennis Hopper were asked at one point in time in their careers, "What was the worst film you've ever done in your life?" And they both said this film. They hated the
They
making
gave
of
up
this.
right away.
Well, and
like
also,
they got on set and they're like, "Fuck it, it's a paycheck. Let's
John
party."
Leguizamo did start dating Samantha Mathis after this film, so
something good came out of it.
Something good did come out.
It did destroy the director's career too.
Yeah, they never did another film.
Well,
after
if you're gonna
this.
fucking act like a little bitch on set like that, and be like that, like of course, get out of here.
I mean, yeah, they I think they interviewed Rocky at one point in time, and Rocky was like, 20 years later, like people have come up to us, and when they find out we did the Mario Brothers movie, they're like, it's a no-go. He's like, even 20 years later,
no one wants that big of a problem.
I cannot do this.
Oh, well, they I think the other thing that they weren't allowed to do was the reshoots, because they had to do a whole bunch of reshoots to add action into it, and they wouldn't allow them.
The studio had to actively put up a wall between them and other creative departments. Like they were
interesting.
That despised.
What a fucking weird, chaotic situation.
So let me ask this, I guess. Like watching this film, like I didn't really know a lot of that, but like I can kind of see.
Oh, you can see it.
I can kind of see how they disjointed a lot of the film feels like, and I was often wondering, like, is this an editing thing, or is this like a bad script or a storytelling thing? Or now I'm thinking, is this just because there was two directors that weren't on the same page, shooting various scenes, kind of taking turns back and forth, so you're getting this weird fucking collection of like takes and scenes
I think
vibes.
I
but
think
at the same
that.
time, though, they didn't edit it. Somebody else edited it.
True. Yeah.
I think it's all that.
They could only work with what they were given.
Because there's one scene that sticks particularly in my head, and it's I think it's the de-evolution of Koopa, or it's one of the de-evolution scenes.
Okay.
Anyways, it's going to be of the Mario Brothers. This is when they're going to do them, and they break out of the de-evolution thing. But when they break out of it, there's this like overhead shot, and it points to the cop, and he's like slipping in this green ooze.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out where that green ooze ever came from, because it's never
somebody got devolved,
but it's never explained, and it's not there before. It had to be shot as part
with something else in mind.
With something else in mind, and they just were like, fucking
I do
edit
feel
it,
like
have the slime in there for
I
half
need
a
a
second.
shot.
I do feel like there were a handful of scenes where I feel like you really benefit from watching the background, because I do feel like I saw a lot of mistakes or people falling over.
There's a ton of
shit.
continuity problems in this film. I've heard that there's quite a bit. I didn't like look at it. I watched this film 2 times. I never actually took the eye to be like, oh, let me look at the background. I did look in the background for looking for Easter eggs. I did see that there were like thwomp
very
things
little.
and little things like that.
Dude.
The set design in this film is great.
Can I point out my
Just wanna say, but-
favorite, which I have to figure out? My favorite Easter egg, which it has to be an Easter egg, is one of the Cooper posters, and I forgot. I think it's towards the end of the film when they're like burning the Cooper posters and painting over them. One of the Cooper posters is just fucking his face. It's Dennis Hopper's face, and there's a chainsaw blade next to him, and I'm like, that's gotta be a Texas Chainsaw
I never
like
even
throw.
considered
Like,
that.
Dude,
Somebody had
yes.
to. Somebody
I'm
was
like,
on point
that's
on that one.
gotta be
Good.
like.
I didn't see that, but that's fucking awesome.
There is one other one that I want to just mention. Like, there's a, you know, the dance club scene where they're doing that like lizard dance and stuff like that. Apparently, the directors.
I'm sorry. Was nobody for 3 days after watching this movie going dinosaurs?
I still am.
Oh my god!
What
Yeah,
is that
still
song
am.
you always sing? I heard it, and then I was like, oh, this is the. I know I've heard the song before, and it must have been you that has sung it in the past. It's
I
like
probably have.
the Dino something, or like it's one of the songs like to the dance. Like what's it called?
Oh, Stomp Stomp Stomp. Did I know the kids song?
That's Miss Rachel.
That's Miss
I
Rachel.
No.
Or
no.
Blippi.
Never mind. Continue. Well, it'll
know.
come to me.
Anyways,
Okay.
that
Stomp,
scene was originally written as a strip club.
I can tell.
I
And-
love that.
And they immediately like Nintendo was like, no, like
This is Dino Hatton. This
we're
is
not
different.
doing that. It's weird. They definitely tried to. I feel like this was a constant push and pull of how adult do we make this and how kid do we make
Yes,
this.
I agree.
And it somehow meets somewhere in the middle. I feel like this is like a 15-year-old's movie.
Yeah. So they try to make it a little edgy. I feel like
They definitely,
you know,
yeah.
and I don't know. I don't
But
know
they
where we
don't.
are in the story.
The message
but...
about this is like a battle against fascism.
But
which
they
is
also,
like,
but they also don't make it. Let me get into this a little bit here. So let's get in the movie. We have the opening scene. We have the animation talking about the parallel universes. Then we have the Omen scene where a demon egg is left at a church where these nuns, you know, they have no problem with it. A baby hatching.
If anyone's gonna take Satan in, it's
Yeah.
gonna be some nuns.
Yeah. Which no, like this literally reads like a Twitter feed. Like this movie, the script does. It's like take any conspiracy theory and throw it in there. Even to the fact where they're in on the joke, like he's literally watching conspiracy theories.
he is. He's super into
When
like
we
unsolved
meet
mysteries
Luigi-
kind of thing. Yeah.
You know, they're hanging out in their apartment. They get a job. They, you know,
They're obviously broke. Mario
Oh,
makes
yeah.
that a point to say that about 15,
Surprised
20
we're still
times.
eating, yeah.
Yeah.
that's like
yeah.
a typical story. That's even in the new movie.
The new movie is the same thing. They're
Oh.
like kind of like plumbers that haven't quite hit it.
I guess my problem is right off the bat, like rewatching this, is like I immediately realize how fucking weak the dialogue is in this movie.
it's pretty bad.
It's really just a bunch of one-liner type, like saying the same redundant things over and over to hammer home what the current situation is. You know, it's like exposition.
I mean, look,
like
you're not wrong, but I don't care.
Well, I
There's
mean,
a part
like,
of me that didn't care.
with
I was
fresh
like,
eyes and not child eyes that have
Yeah.
seen this 15 times, like
Not a
I was like,
child's
yeah, like I'm
eyes.
like, this is some pretty weak writing, like immediately.
Well, it
Like-
absolutely is. But like, I don't know. Like, it must be because I've seen it so much and I know what I'm getting into. But like,
Right.
when I go into it, I'm like, I'm not expecting anything. I'm gonna just pay attention to the storyline.
Yeah,
itself
the
this
problem
time.
is that it takes a serious tone, and like so, I guess like the weak writing with the serious, like I feel like it, like you said,
Yeah.
like it borders that adult kind of like
Mhm.
dark, like horror. Starts off
Right.
horrific,
Yeah.
takes place in what, Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Correct.
And like so,
Yeah.
it's this kind of like grungy kind of atmosphere. These two plumbers that are struggling, like. That live together, like I don't know, like, and
It's
then
the
you
same
get this like
problem-
weak dialogue with it. I'm
Yeah.
just like,
It's the
Well,
same
and
problem
you-
you have with like short films. You go to film festivals, like these big dark ideas, and then like just
yeah,
terrible
no budget
execution
to really
and
execute
bad
it. Yeah.
execution.
well, you kind of get you kind of get some backstory with the thing, right? So we get that, and I wonder.
Luigi's adopted by Mario at
So,
some
well,
point.
okay,
yes, but
I
I'm
am
going back
very-
to the
I
egg
don't know-
situational.
Okay.
Can I go back
you're,
to that
you're
real
really
quick?
focused on the egg.
I
Did
do
you not
want to
like
talk
the egg?
about that though,
Because
I liked
yeah.
the egg.
Because we get we know that's Daisy that's in the egg.
Yes.
yeah.
Are we to assume that that's Princess Peach that drops
Drops her
off
off?
the egg?
No.
No, we don't
That's-
assume that.
That's Daisy's mother, the queen.
Right.
Because even in the video games, there is a king in Mario Brothers.
Right,
3
but I'm just saying, like,
specifically,
I'm
there's a
just
very
saying for this
visible king.
adaptation, do we just assume that's Peach? Because Peach is not in this, who is the most famous of the princesses.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I think we would have to really. We're doing that at this
Yeah.
point because it has not been established that
No,
that's
not at all.
Peach
No.
in any way.
But this is what I do on
But-
the show. I like to leap to these
No,
conclusions.
but even as a kid watching it, I remember thinking, who the fuck is Daisy? Because I didn't have the Game Boy
Yeah.
version of Mario. I only
I'm
played
sure
Nintendo.
everyone was who the fuck is Daisy?
Also, what I like about this scene too is when Koopa comes out of the portal or the wall, we see
shadows.
that he's in military garb.
Dude, I thought the same thing.
He's General Cooper. He's not President Cooper yet. He's like an Admiral Cooper or
it
something.
led me to believe this is like a General Zod situation where like he was maybe employed by the king, and this was a militant overthrow.
Yes.
It was, yeah,
100%.
I thought that was like a really good, like nuanced way to add subtext.
So did I.
Which is weird because this film is full of exposition.
Yeah,
Right.
it is.
And that's probably actually the most subtle thing in the movie. Because it's never.
I didn't pick up on it.
You see, I did.
I didn't pick up on it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't pick up until the second watch, and I've seen this film like multiple times.
Yeah.
I never picked up on it.
This is the
until
first
that
time I picked up on it too, but I was watching with my reviewer eyes on. Chris,
I'd like to go on record and
eyes.
say I picked up on it when I was 8.
Wow,
Did you really? Good for you.
Look at this guy.
Smarty
Good
pants.
for
My
you,
God.
buddy.
Look at this guy get a
Destined
promotion
to be a
president.
podcaster.
Captain
Am I getting a
Subtext over
promotion?
here.
No, I'm saying you saw that Koopa was destined to get a promotion to president right away.
Yeah.
So we have this horrific
Clearly a
scene
man
where a
of
baby
action.
comes
Real
out of an
ambitious
egg.
attitude.
Horrific.
I loved that, by the way.
I love this scene. No, it's well shot, but it sets.
But I love the lore. It's like they're still like, these are evolved humans, but evolved from reptiles.
Here's
So
the-
they're still going to be
Can
birthed
I
in
say
eggs.
something though? I gotta say something though. You all have kids. Like what did it take to push that out?
right.
Like,
Well,
none of
eggs
us did it,
don't
so-
grow.
Yeah.
Eggs don't grow.
Let me tell you.
right?
Well, during when I gave birth,
I figured you guys were in the room with
I
your
was there.
wives.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Dude, it's that size. The baby's already that size.
Okay,
It's
so
an-
like
it's an
this
egg
isn't
size.
it might even be a more ergonomic.
Yeah, the egg
Yeah.
would be nice because
This
it's
is a
smooth.
fetish. This is a real fetish, by the way.
What
It's
is?
What
like
is?
women
The fuck?
pushing out eggs.
Oh, I don't want to know about it.
That's a
actually.
thing?
I give
Why are
up.
we recording this
It's a real
conversation?
thing. Anyways, moving on.
Oh
I'm going to
God.
leave that in.
Well, I'm a
Why
little.
do you know that?
I'm a little intrigued.
Why do you know
now.
that, Chris?
Film research.
Film research.
Did you guys not stumble across that on your Super Mario Brothers film
Yeah.
research?
I typed Super Mario Bros.
Was
and
I
then
the
that
only
came
one?
up.
Was I the only one?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. That's so weird.
Couldn't tell you the
Acorn.
directors' names, but got to the egg hatching possibilities.
But no, what I'm saying is like this is where you could tell the studio took over in editing because you have this very dark tone, very horror film like tone of the egg hatching. Like it's like fucking like raining out and lightning strikes when the baby hand comes through the egg, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like horrific. But then it's like it gets that goofy fucking family music as soon as it cuts to Mario and Luigi.
Can we? Yes, thank you for bringing that up because I want to say, when did we get into Dennis the Menace? Like, that's all I could hear is like some fucking
Dude.
like Dennis the Menace family
Oh,
film
yeah.
comedy.
Because
like,
It's the early
soundtrack.
90s, man.
You
That's
can
like-
tell that is the studio. Like, how do we make this fucking? How do
Honey,
we
I
make
Shrunk the
this
Kids.
How do we make this kid friendly? Like, how do we make this lighthearted? This is not lighthearted.
It's
movie.
not. It
Like,
doesn't fit.
how do we make this lighthearted? I know. Put in like a wacky.
Yeah. Roger Rabbit fucking soundtrack.
yeah, soundtrack.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And it was brilliant. Loved it, Chris. 'Cause
Brilliant.
It's a
Brilliant.
mashing.
No,
It's a mashing of two
brilliant.
worlds. Some would
Not
say it's like
not
a
word I
comet
would use.
hitting.
Brilliant.
It's like a comet hitting Earth and forming two dimensions.
One darker than the other.
One darker than the other. Right.
Sending the darker one down to the underneath the earth, right?
No, I don't.
It's just a different
it-
dimension.
It's just
this
another
same-
dimension.
Same Earth, just with a wall. But
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
because they
gotcha,
do
gotcha.
have like a desert. That
Yeah,
they,
they have
they
a-
do
they're a
actually
whole
see
planet.
a sky.
They're like a whole planet that's been decimated
Well,
by
let's-
a
let's-
meteor.
We'll get there because
Yeah.
so a bunch of boring stuff happens about them, driving by sense through New York because that makes
Well, they
sense.
established that Luigi is he's really big into conspiracy theories, and he's really big into the idea of fate and the universe provides and just believe kind of a
Also,
thing.
I'd like to say that we all defended E. Johnson when she did it in Cherry 2000. So
What do you mean?
we talk at length about how E. Johnson can drive through the desert with no
By feel.
headlights by
Yeah.
feel, and now we're criticizing poor Luigi.
I didn't like
I
it.
wasn't
No,
criticizing.
I didn't
I was
like it
just
when E.
supporting.
Johnson did it. You guys liked it.
All right.
I didn't like it when E.
Oh,
Johnson
I
did it.
liked
I
it.
don't like it when
I
And
Luigi
like
does
also
it.
different. I feel like those are different things. Driving by feel is just like muscle memory, like
Yeah.
whereas we're not talking about like fate and supernatural. Like
He doesn't
like,
even know where he's going.
And keep in mind, even
Forces
throughout
and
this film, and
whatnot.
we'll get to it, like Luigi's intuition and supernatural intuition is not exactly paying off.
No, it's
No.
not.
He luck
no.
boxes his way out of death a few times.
At this point, after they find the job by the Scapellis, or the Scapellis have taken their job, they proceed to leave, and their van breaks down. And this is where we meet Daisy. Daisy is also being followed at this time by two Koopa cousins,
Iggy and Spike.
Iggy and Spike.
Also, another reference to accurate video game
Yeah.
reference.
Yes.
There
Yeah.
are, in fact, Iggy and Spike.
Super Mario World.
I
for
couldn't
sure.
remember.
I know that.
I couldn't remember
They have
Spike.
castles.
3.
Who was Spike? What did Spike look like?
Iggy
Spike
and
is one of the
are
sons, right?
Koopa
Yeah.
essentially the Koopa kids from Super Mario Brothers 3. You know how they
The
go to each
boats?
world? Yeah, and then one Spike, I think,
yeah.
is the one with the big
Mohawk.
hair.
Yes,
And
yes.
that might be Iggy.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
There's
sure.
like
either.
No, Iggy's
Ludwig
the-
von
Iggy's
Koopa.
the-
There's a bunch of
no,
yeah.
I thought Iggy had the powers. Or
Anyways,
something.
she's being followed by them. They've
Yeah.
established also that they have been kidnapping
Random
women
girls.
from Brooklyn. All of them are the wrong women, but they are looking for the princess who Daisy
Correct.
actually is, who is the child who hatched from the egg that came from the world, because she has a piece of meteorite that can bring the two worlds together in Koopa mind. Some people don't believe this conspiracy
Yeah,
theory.
people are not 100% sure on this. Some do. Also, there are rules that Koopa believes. He believes that only Daisy is able to do
Yeah.
this
because of her bloodline.
because of her bloodline, as where other people from his world believe that. I mean, anybody could do it. Like,
Right.
why does that make a
Why,
difference?
why does that matter?
Yeah.
What's the difference in that? And they're well aware. I don't know how they're well aware of our world, but they're well aware of our world, and we
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
not
know
established, and
mammals.
I'm really confused about like.
well, because they were going to cross over. It looks like at the point they were going to cross over with Koopa. Like when Koopa was a general, they were going to cross over,
Well-
but she closed the entrance so they couldn't come over to invade our world.
Yeah, and also I think it's explained to some which doesn't really coincide. They make a point to say you guys went blasting and opened up the portal.
right.
Obviously, Koopa has to be aware that there is another world because Daisy's mother crossed over there and he actively went and met her
Right.
at that portal. So he
Right.
has to know that Brooklyn exists, right? So I'm guessing over the course of 20 years he let that information get out and it has been readily disseminated throughout the Dino Hatton world that that there is another world and that this is our history and that we need to actively, as like a fascist kind of attempt,
Right.
we actively need to merge these worlds so that our world can reclaim its place
Mhm.
Yeah.
in the evolution of society.
Make Dino Hatton great again. I think
Yes,
is a
I
clear.
Fairly accurate.
It's clearly what they're trying to say.
Mhm.
You know, like it's clear that's what they're trying to say. But so, where was I? They meet Daisy,
Yeah, they had their little meet cute at the fucking payphone,
and they say, "Hey, let's.
Meet cute.
Hey, how about?" So she's got these. I'm sorry. So she's got these two guys following her. She borrows a quarter from Luigi. He's nice to her.
Yes.
She's got these two creepy guys following her.
I do want to point out the Mario Brothers are struggling to make ends meet, and as Luigi's staring longingly into Daisy's eyes, you hear, "Holy crap! Send every plumber you got in the city. I got."
Oh,
you know,
yeah, on
it's
their
like-
answering
It's
machine.
a funny joke.
massive job that will probably pay their rent for the next 6 months, and he's just like, There you go.
And it's
That
funny
was
because
good.
Mario even asked him, he's like, any jobs? He's like, no, I don't think there was any jobs.
I just want to establish basically she decides to jump in a car with two strangers because she's being followed by two other strangers.
yeah.
She thinks it's safer to go with the other strangers at this time because of the threat of an attack.
Well, Mario's older, you know. He
Of his
seems
kidnapping.
He seems more trustworthy.
Yeah, but you know, there's a slew of kidnappings of women who fit her description
Yeah.
going on.
I do think
In
Mario
Brooklyn.
does a pretty good job at least trying to be like, my brother's kind of creepy,
He's
but he just
smoothing
kind of
it out,
likes you.
yeah.
Yeah, he's just like really
Constantly.
awkward.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of a charming scene, and it's
Mhm.
because of
I
the
do.
actors.
Yeah, I
It is.
agree.
It's they carry that scene. Anyways, we do go to dinner, and you would think yes, this would be a cheap dinner, but it's not. This is a very fancy restaurant.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do. They do. Because can I tell you something? I think this was Daniela's pick.
Yeah. His
I
Mario's
love
girlfriend.
Daniela. I think Daniela is my favorite character
adorable.
in the entire movie.
So much so that I questioned why has Daniela not been introduced in a game?
I mean, I can tell you why they buried this movie.
I know.
You can't even stream this movie right now
No.
because they have said no. The animated film will be
But
the
it
one
would
we're
be
going
so
with,
cool
but
if they had Daniela, the Princess of Brooklyn. Like, would be fucking amazing.
did
Can you imagine playing Mario
absolutely love
Kart?
it.
And she's just like, "Where you going?"
And like her friend who smokes cigarettes in their jail cell, I guess
Yeah.
we'll call it, is there in the back.
I absolutely loved her. She was like, she had the best one-liners.
She did.
She like.
I just think the actress was likable.
Well,
Very
she was
likable.
very
The
likable.
actress was likable,
Yeah.
and it was a unique, brand new character, so it had nothing,
Well, and it
no
fit-
history tied to
Yeah,
it.
no,
so
there was none
the
to
character
it.
could just
Like,
kind of
yeah,
exist.
But
Mario's.
If like Mario lived in Brooklyn, it fit like who his girlfriend probably would be at the time, right? It was
Yeah.
believable. It was one of the
Yeah.
believable things in the
Mhm.
movie, and she was
Well,
charming.
I don't know. She was way out of his league, in my opinion.
I
Like
mean-
looks wise,
Yeah.
Well, he's got a great personality, Chris.
Yeah,
Sometimes
what are you
that
talking
can make
about?
things
I know
up.
that
Mario's a
doesn't always
fucking
matter.
catch.
I
How
know.
dare you?
My God, you
Yeah.
know.
No wonder he was going to save her. I was like, fuck.
So, anyways, Luigi offers to walk her home at a very sweet scene.
Mhm.
To get a better relationship with her, to show that he's not as creepy as
Can I tell you the funniest
he's
part
made out to be.
I thought about this scene was when she's like, "Do you really think that me doing paleontology and studying like the Earth and dinosaurs is really interesting?"
Yeah,
and he's
dude.
just like, "I think it's very interesting." And like, he's the only person in all of New York that has ever found. Like, really,
Yeah.
honestly, if I like paleontology is interesting
course it
regardless.
is.
Where-
Right.
I can't imagine one
Generally
person being like,
interesting.
"You're a paleontologist."
Well,
I'm out. This is
yes.
out.
Can I
You have to frame it in the early '90s.
No,
I
hold on, dude.
do
No.
feel like that. I don't know.
Dude,
How
this
many-
is at the peak of dinosaur
No,
fucking
no, no,
extravaganza.
I'm
the
saying-
movie's about
No,
dinosaurs.
I'm not saying in the movie. I'm saying the people who wrote it.
I guess so.
The people who wrote it, because I feel like in the '90s, like being a scientist, something was a real fucking nerdy
All I'm thinking
thing.
about
But it's
like-
also
like-
like high class still, though, too.
Yeah,
Like, I feel
'cause
like.
here's a question
yeah.
for you: how many of you have ever met a paleontologist?
No,
I've
I've
only-
never
I don't know
have.
any.
in
So if
college. I mean,
Anthropologist.
college. I had a professor that was a paleontologist.
count.
That doesn't count though.
So if I met one, I'd be like, especially an actively working one,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'd be like, holy fuck! Especially if you found dinosaur bones in the middle of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
like that's the thing I don't understand. Look, as an '80s kid growing up in the '80s, dinosaurs were fucking huge.
Yes.
like everybody, like everything was dinosaurs. So
Yeah.
when-
Still is.
so
Kids still love
going
dinosaurs.
into Jurassic Park, like and you're 13, 14,
Yes.
whatever you were, like you were like, absolutely, this is my childhood being shown on screen in my teens.
Mhm.
Like my entire life has been like literally peppered with dinosaurs.
It's one of the first things you learn about as a kid. That's
Yeah.
what I've learned
So I
as
just
being a
find
parent.
it odd that like this girl has a hard time dating because like she says she's a paleontologist
Yeah.
and dudes are just like Seinfeld, like I couldn't do it. I just couldn't get into the fucking
I'm,
dinosaur.
the girl that like excavates like giant tunnels and is like a
Wasn't
Listen,
David Schwimmer's character in Friends a paleontologist?
He was a museum curator, I think.
But he was a paleontologist to begin with.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he
was
was.
he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
So
did you
that's
ask?
like
Why'd
your
you ask the
frame-
question if you were
That's
so
your
sure?
frame of paleontologists. Is that
Yeah.
character that the masses understand in 1993?
I guess so. I mean, she's a catch.
Hey Daisy, things have been so great with us in this dinner tonight. It's been a fabulous first date. We have so much in common. We both want kids. We both want marriage. We both love basketball.
North
and-
orphans.
Oh my God, yes, we love orphans, and everything is just so
You
great.
love
Except, I just kind of have a problem that I really struggle with being with a paleontologist. I just don't know if I can be with somebody who's with bones all day long.
You have to
It's
head in the
just
ground.
dead things. I just don't know if I can deal with that.
The dusty thoughts.
Dusty thoughts.
Does
I just can't deal with somebody coming home, being dusty, smelling like dead bones
Oh.
and rock.
Dead bones.
All the dust.
Dead bones,
Just-
ladies and gentlemen.
You have those
Tracking
small,
the dust.
you have those small little brushes that you use. I find those just
disturbing,
annoying,
appalling.
I wish this could work, but
Undusted
unfortunately,
brushes.
she's heard it so many times.
She's in a
heard
lot
it.
of stuff though. She was in Pump Up the Volume,
She was.
Fern Gully,
So she does a lot with Christian Slater.
Little Women,
Yeah.
She did a lot with Christian
American
Slater,
Psycho, Punisher, 2004.
Oh,
Oh,
Not the good one.
The good one. Frank
Not the
Cat-
good
yeah,
one.
yeah, the good one's 2004.
no, good one is Warzone. Everybody knows that.
Mario Brothers does make the
That's
list.
the wrong answer. All right, we're after
Sorry.
the dinner. Dinner's over.
Dinner's
Luigi
over.
It's over.
and
We're shocked.
Daisy are walking.
We're shocked by that she's a paleontologist. She's so shocked that he's interested. She says, "Hey, would you like to go see the dinosaur bones?" Which again, at this point, would anybody be like, you know what? No. Also, guy you just first met, first date.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really want to be taking him into hobo stab out tunnels.
She feels comfortable down there.
Safe?
Apparently,
She's
is what
very
she
comfortable
said.
down there.
stabbing
She
knows
heard
there's no stabbings happening
yeah,
there.
there's nobody's gonna. Yeah, who's stabbing her? In a,
Maybe the
in a dig
Scapellis who are
site?
obviously down
Yeah.
there.
But she
that they
doesn't
find
think
there
out.
that.
to break
So
some
anyone-
pipes with their fucking uniforms on, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Classic henchman move.
yeah, I'm like, identify yourselves while you're
Dude.
doing destructive, illegal shit.
My favorite thing about this scene, can I tell you? My favorite thing about this scene is water starts pouring out of this fucking side of this tunnel, like water gushing into the fucking Titanic.
Yeah, exactly.
The Brooklyn River is pouring in right
pouring
now.
in.
Yeah.
And what do they say?
I gotta go get
Luigi goes,
Marty.
I know how to fix this. Let's go. Let's hop in a
leave.
cab.
I know just how to fix this.
Go get my fucking brother.
Yeah.
Because he actually knows how to
Hour
fix
and
it.
a
I
half
don't.
later.
Yeah, they get back. Tunnel's still dry.
Yeah, it's like nothing happened
Yeah.
between that hour and a half.
It's
travel.
like they spit on the bones. Like that's how wet it is. Oh shit! We better get Mario.
Good thing we got
Think how
time.
long that would have taken. They went back. They go back to the
Yeah,
apartment.
how many blocks away
They show
are
up.
they?
Mario's
Get all his
absolutely
shit.
plowing Danielle. He's gonna stop that. Put his clothes back on. Get his tools.
That's true.
Right back.
It's right after their date. That's so true.
Yeah.
It's right after their date.
Danielle is down. Okay, she's ready to go.
Yeah. She's not. Wait, she got kidnapped. She gets kidnapped. Wait.
Oh yeah, no, she does. She gets kidnapped.
he drops her
immediately
off
after
at
they drops
home.
her off. Yeah,
What a loser.
yeah. He doesn't even. He
He
just drops her
drops
off.
Mario
What
drops.
happened?
He drops her off at home. He drops Danielle off at home, and she gets kidnapped because they think she's Daisy.
That's right. Because Iggy and Spike, also Fisher Stevens,
Yeah.
incomparable Fisher
Fucking
Stevens,
love Fisher
bringing
Stevens.
the heat yet again.
I love Fisher Stevens.
My-
Okay?
Every
Doesn't
time he
matter
shows
what
up,
crappy movie he's in,
Yes.
he will bring
Yes.
the heat.
So
bring it.
my favorite story about them in particular was this. They thought the script was so bad. Every scene they are in, their lines are improvised. That is just them.
That makes sense.
was she
Okay.
what is it? I mean, she copyable. Very. What is the word he uses? When he's describing Big Bertha at the end.
Oh God, yeah. When they
he says it, it makes me
can I
laugh
tell you,
every time.
I don't know what word they used. I've watched this so many times now, and I'm like, he's like rotundatana or something. I can't remember what he says.
I don't know.
Yeah, they make up. You need captions
Yeah,
on
anyways.
for sure.
Let's go
Anyways.
back.
Captions on.
I'm trying to get to the fun place, which is Dino Hatton.
The fun place is us talking.
And so yeah, whew. There's an ad.
To be debated.
To be debated. So, anyways, they go and they run back and they get Mario and they come back to the thing and Mario turns off the stuff and while they're fixing the leak that the Scarpellis have caused,
Mhm.
Iggy and Spike hit them over the head with pipes or
Mhm.
with wrenches. I'm sorry, and steal Daisy.
yeah,
and
I,
they
lo-
bit
Yeah.
bit
That-
get.
I was gonna say, did anybody else think there was like a weird time jump there? Like they had enough time to get Danielle, bring her back. That's wrong, and then come back.
Actually, none of it makes any sense.
Yeah, no.
Can I tell you something?
Sorry.
First thing
I
to know
don't
about
know
this
how
movie.
they grabbed Daniela and managed to do this because by the time at the end of the date, they're already on to the fact that Daisy is likely the girl that they're looking for.
And it's established later on in the film, like where they end up
Wait.
is where the meteorite is, and the meteorite is not. It's in the desert, not close to Dino Hatton. So they literally have to travel with Daniela back, travel through the desert to Dino Hatton, lock her up, put her away, then go to Koopa, realize that that's not the princess.
Yeah.
Then get
Yeah,
the instructions
do
to
they
go
make-
get the princess.
When do they make the
and then they go back.
realization? So after the dinner, they realize that they think Daniela is the girl.
This is also the problem with this movie
I think
is it's weirdly forgettable.
Yeah, no, I would say this. Upon watching it, I did kind of feel like if this movie was this really just hobbled together mess, I kind of feel like the Danielle scene and Mario scene, it makes sense if that actually existed on like a different day.
Isn't it like they're following Daisy throughout this whole thing? They get to the dinner scene, they get to Daniela, and they're like,
Yep.
"Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her."
That's her. She
And they're
died.
like,
she's
"What? Are
wearing.
you
She's
sure?"
wearing
Like,
a
yeah.
disguise. They say that she's wearing a disguise. They're that dumb.
Okay,
yeah.
so this is just like a dumb thing.
Yeah, because
it's
that's
not like
this whole
they
thing.
can't
They had really
tell.
established these guys are idiots.
Well, I'll just say out loud: are they that dumb? Because eventually, towards the end of the film, they admit that they're on Daisy's side the whole
Well,
time.
that's after they've been evolved.
Yes, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
they say even like the whole time they've been like looking for they've been on the king's side.
I think they're lying.
Think they're lying?
Personally, I think
Yeah.
they were personally lying.
Just to save
but
their asses.
Yes.
Yes, I
Got
think they strike me as the type of people that don't have any loyalty.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
somehow they go through all this time warp. They steal Daisy, and finally Mario. Trust me, kid. I've been living in the pipes all my life. That's an echo. For some reason, that is always I remember that line in the movie. And they end up going through the rock wall, which let me tell you, traveling through dimensions is a trip. Like being in a Lawnmower Man when you trip through a wall and you spin through dimensions.
I love how Bob Hoskin starts to fall and then somehow is like flying through, like
I like that
upside down.
he's
Like he
stuck-
did a front flip, but then like flew 10 feet.
I like that he's like stuck in this position like this.
That's
with
how
his
they can
arms up.
manipulate you
and
with
he's
the
just spinning.
technology at that time.
He's just spinning like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't have movement.
I kind of really liked the fact that Mario was afraid to take the leap in like a lot of these cases, right? Like,
Yeah.
That is
like,
quite funny.
I like that they set up like Luigi is like willing to sort of jump right in and do the thing, and like Mario is always hesitant and like I don't know, I don't know if it's gonna work, and then he does it, and I will say it was kind of effective for me to watch that because I was always like I'm on Mario's side. I'm like I would definitely be nervous to trust that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because it was something I thought about while watching. Does anybody else feel like this was actually a Luigi movie?
It's very much a Luigi
Yeah.
movie.
It
I
is.
Like
agree.
Mario feels like the secondary
A lot of
character. Yeah.
Luigi fans have turned to this movie to say like they got it right that Luigi was a cooler character than Mario.
He is.
Clearly.
I do find that joke is funny in a very meta way, in that like Mario, who was originally named Jumpman, like doesn't like to take the leaps.
Well, here's the thing. Here's where I'll argue where I think the adaptation gets it right over, we'll say, the video game myth or lore, where it's true. If Mario is the older brother, he is going to be the more reserved and more worried of the two, where even in the video game series, it's like Luigi is the scaredy cat and Mario is the brave one. Like, it is like that in the video games. But, like, if you really think about it, like, you're young and dumb. You don't really think about the danger.
Yeah.
When you're older and you're a little more mature, you're like, hold on, dude, that could heck out.
You look
my
before
knees,
you leap.
My knees ain't that great, bro.
Also,
like, I can't do that.
while we're here, can we since we're on the dynamics of the brothers, can we talk about like, yo, is Luigi adopted
Yes.
or is he not adopted?
I feel
I
like
got
he
that
was
he's
like,
adopted.
I feel like he came into the mix when he was a very young kid, and like Mario took him under his wing basically and
Yeah.
raised him as his his
Okay, so
brother
he's-
or whatever.
so he is.
Is his brother his mother? He's always been his mother.
Yeah.
Not
there-
his
yeah.
mother.
I couldn't tell if he was adopted or if he was just stating my parents died before I got to know
Yeah.
them.
I think he just like Mario took him under his wing and was like,
An
I picture
orphan
Mario
kid.
like early 20s and like finds
Which
this
again-
kid and then like lets him stay with him and
I do enjoy his Luigi. I love this version of Mario and Luigi as far as their dynamic goes, because to me
Yeah.
it's actually a more realistic dynamic, especially
Like
where
buddy dynamic.
well, like
Yeah.
an older and
Brother.
younger, like
Yeah.
older and younger
Yeah.
brother. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna look out. You're gonna be a little more cautious, where the younger one is going to be the one who's
Reckless, yeah.
who's a little more reckless. Where I feel like in the video game world, it's kind of reversed, right? Like if
Yeah.
you've ever played Luigi's Mansion, he's terrified like
I
throughout the
feel
whole
like
thing.
they
Yeah,
made Luigi terrified later on. though.
Yeah,
They do-
that wasn't
well,
early.
Like, he wasn't like the scaredy cat in
Let
like
me think
2
about that.
or-
In 2 he had like he
Well,
was
2
more, he was a
two's
more
technically not a
likable to
Mario
play.
game.
2's not a Mario game.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, yeah, it is.
Technically.
I was like, I feel like
I
it is.
disagree with you.
I think it's
so
a
much
different
on that.
world,
Throwing
but
turnips
I mean,
and shit,
it was
bro?
based on a totally different game, but
No, it's a totally
Yeah.
different game that existed, and they just reskinned the
they did. They
graphics.
reskinned it, yes.
Yeah.
But I still think that
Great game.
it holds. I do think it was the first game to give
Gave us Big Bertha.
Luigi some character that he was. I like that they make him a higher jumper, that he has like some
exactly. I love to,
flourishing
man.
animated
love it.
effects. I do think that. Yeah, you're probably right that Luigi's Mansion was the first one to like introduce Luigi as kind of a scaredy cat,
Yeah.
as opposed to Mario, who was a little bit more brave.
Yeah.
This is not the case in this film.
With that being said, let's do this, guys. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about Super Mario Brothers 1993. All right, guys, we're back, and we are talking about Super Mario Brothers 1993. This is finally. I
We've
feel like
arrived.
we've arrived to where I wanted to finally. Where I feel like this film really fucking takes off, and that's when we get in Dino Hatton.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yes.
where you get like whatever world these directors were trying to create and relate it to the Mushroom Kingdom, and Manhattan.
Yeah.
90s Manhattan at that. This is what you get. Like this is fungus everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Cars are not run on gas because they don't have any resources, as we find out
They don't have
under
any
this dimension.
dinosaurs to mine.
They don't.
Right.
There's just that's so true. I didn't even think about
Yeah,
it that
everything
way.
Electric.
That's so funny.
It runs on a weird electric grid.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're getting the electricity from.
Neither do I, because
but-
there's no rivers or
also,
dams.
They're very anti-vegetarian. They're almost purely carnivorous.
Well, yeah, because they're
Like a
di-
dinosaur.
Right.
Because
No,
they're
but not all
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs were carnivorous. There were
No,
plenty
but
of
the
herbivores.
ones that
Yeah,
survive
the ones that fucking evolved.
I guess those are the
Yeah.
only ones.
are the because doesn't Koopa make a like
Koopa
a
makes a point to say
say-
he's a
he's a T-
absolutely the Tyrannosaurus
yeah
Rex.
he's
Yeah,
king of
is.
the dinosaurs,
Yeah.
like he's a T-Rex, which also would mean that Iggy and Spike are T-Rexes, just to a smaller extent and
Yeah.
somewhat, I guess, because they're his cousins. That's
Yes,
established.
yes.
So
Well, you know.
getting into the family lineage that is Dennis Hopper's King Koopa.
The
I'm
Koopa
sure he
clan.
thought that deep into it
Do
too.
they refer to him as King Koopa? in
No, he's
this?
President
He's
Koopa. in
okay.
this.
technically
It's
president.
they definitely are playing on the fascist. Like that is the story of this movie, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable that there was a king, there was an overthrow. But
this king
apparently
was-
from a military officer, which I would imagine was bestowed upon him by the king, that he overthrew that kingdom and
Right.
he just kind of disposed everybody that.
And
was-
everyone loved the king before.
No, I don't think they had a choice.
Oh,
Yeah, it sounds
my
like
guess.
it sounds like everybody loved the king
Yeah.
before.
I thought the king was
Oh
well
no,
liked.
no! I'm sorry. I thought you meant Koopa.
no,
like
no,
I don't think
the
everybody
original
loves Koopa.
king,
yeah.
LH.
I
Yeah,
think he
no.
was a well-loved king, but what were they going to do at this point?
Right, he's already
Yeah.
been once. Honestly, I feel like once, really the tides probably turned. Once he got the de-evolved technology or evolved technology, which we'll get into that here in a
Mhm.
fucking second, because it's like, why wouldn't he just also evolve himself and make himself the smartest person? Like I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about.
that was a
I
huge
wondered that
weird
a few
thing,
times.
yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking, like, why wouldn't Koopa
Yeah.
make himself
Like, is the machine that new?
I mean,
Yeah.
but
Like,
also
they
it also
that what that
just
just
green-
cracked it.
like that's what that green goop was before?
Yeah,
Like
it
this is
was
our first,
test.
but obviously not. It wasn't a test because they de-evolved the king, and he's a fungus throughout all of Dino Hatton.
I think there's a level of egotism that goes on with Koopa that maybe he just thinks he's the smartest person anyway, so he doesn't require any more evolution.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Well, also, and let's talk about Dino Hatton as a setting real quick, too. Dino Hatton, I think, is very much supposed to be representative of Manhattan in
Yes.
the 90s as this, or people's perception of it, maybe, of this lawless land of like, where even an old lady will rob you.
I feel like that's
I
more like
loved that
even
part.
actually the Manhattan of the 70s or even
You
early
kid-
80s.
You guys
Yeah.
have any guns? Any
I don't know.
weapons?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Was
Good.
there a whole thing about Giuliani coming in and cleaning it up?
I mean,
Wasn't that
yeah,
his era.
I mean, that was the story that was told.
there was porn
think-
shops and
I think when it
nudie
came-
theaters on every corner.
I think you're talking
Yeah.
about like the corporatization of Times Square,
Yeah.
and in that it turned into kind of like a gentrification that
Yeah.
kind of pushed everyone out and pulled all the tourists into one spot, and that wasn't the best place to do crime anymore. You know,
Right,
like there's
right.
there's thousands and thousands.
But
of
in
people.
Dino Hatton, it
Yeah,
is
it's
the
the
best
you
best
can
place
do
to
crime
crime.
anywhere. You can dance anywhere. You
Yeah.
can.
No rules.
It's all,
You-
it's all
no.
punk and
Not true,
80s.
Chris. You just can't be
You
a
can't
plumber.
sing. You can't. Well, that and you
It's hard to
can't.
survive.
You can't
You can't-
sing negative songs about Koopa.
Can't sing
Can't
anti-Koopa
speak
songs.
ill of Koopa. That's for
I
sure.
love that song, by the way. Toad's song.
Yeah.
Dude, that had to piss a lot of fans off. Like,
Toad?
Toad.
Can I be honest though? Like upon watching it, like there are a lot of characters that pop up, and I think to myself, like, oh, that's a
What?
bummer.
Yeah,
That's a bummer.
that's what I
That's a-
said.
But with Toad is when I was like, you know what? I actually like the way they reimagined this character.
I-
I
no,
really
I like
dig
Toad.
it.
I like the way he's reimagined. I mean, when he's turned into Goomba, that's when it turns into like a real bummer because it's like, yo, here you had a cool character who's singing these anti-Koopa songs. He's obviously like,
Yeah.
you know, he's part of the resistance that you think is going to be there, but there's not really a resistance.
Yeah.
Not really.
Everybody's just as scummy as Koopa, apparently.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Toad. But then they turn Toad into a Goomba who's still a sweetheart
What do we think?
when he's a Goomba.
What do we think about the look of Goombas in the movie?
You know what? It looks nothing like the game,
No.
but
Let's
I
go
love
around.
it.
But
Let's
I
go
do like
around
it.
and get opinions.
Yeah.
I fucking love the Goomba. I love how dumb they are. I love the
little
look
head,
of them.
the little
I love
head
the
on
little
the big body.
the
is just
Beetlejuice
so-
look.
Yeah.
The Beetlejuice. I
But-
love it.
What I think is interesting is that there are different like species of Goomba.
There
Like
is.
they have
Yes.
like the ones that have like a flat nose, and then they have ones that have like this long nose that almost look like a
Yeah.
velociraptor.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know how they made that decision.
Those ones
but-
seem like those were the generals.
And I was just,
Maybe.
I just
Yeah.
love, I just fucking. And they're not actually because when they're all dancing in the elevator, it's a round face grandmother.
round
It
face.
turned hurt. But I just love, I love the line and I love the delivery of Dennis Hopper when he turns Toad into a Goomba, where he's just like Goomba, and
Yeah.
then the Goomba's like, like all like dumb, like,
Such a dummy.
go and
Yeah.
be proud.
Yeah.
Like I
You're a
fucking love
Goomba.
it.
Yeah, it's such a love thing with me. I jump around. I'm like, at first when I saw it, I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, no, they're adorable.
It's
And then
awesome.
I was like, oh, what? Then now they're kind of being just silly and stupid. And then I was like, no, I really like this. This is fun.
I also have a a nostalgic love relationship with it. I will just give that disclaimer
Mhm.
because I had the Goomba action figure from this movie.
Oh, cool.
So I fucking played with it all the
Yeah,
time. You know what
That's
I
cool.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so of course.
did it
yeah.
did it come with a harmonica?
No. I think the jacket, if I remember correctly, you could take the jacket on and off though.
Oh, cool.
Had like a cloth
Yeah,
jacket.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
sick.
Oh man, I just love
Remember,
their
action
like
figures had jackets.
Yeah.
their goofy but imposing look standing next to everybody. You know, like whenever
Yeah.
they would line them up next to like a
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Hopper or something, like you could really tell their size.
Oh, and I love that you could tell it's like a guy wearing a little,
Yeah.
like something on his shoulders
Yeah,
to
like
make
a
it
little
taller.
dummy costume or
And the way they walked, like I don't know,
There's a lot
maybe
of
it's this
side
again.
shuffle,
Maybe
side
it's
to side.
the boots. They have like metal boots on.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's just nostalgic. But I love the Goombas.
It's
but
fun. It's silly.
we're also established to Big Bertha at this. Like she's established when we get to Dino Hatton.
The one piece of the video game they pulled perfectly is the bob-ombs.
The Bob-ombs?
Yeah.
Bob-ombs.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
bob-ombs.
Had the vibe.
Like they didn't even attempt to like reskin
No.
it in any way, shape, or form.
No,
It's
it's
just like
pretty
here
much.
you go.
Here's it. Wind up and go.
Yeah, here's your one
Yeah.
treat from the game.
What is it? Well, no. There's another one in there too, and I just
There's a
noticed
bullet
it.
bill in there.
Bullet bill for the first time. I noticed that's the cartridge
Oh,
that
the
they stick in the
cartridge,
boot
yeah.
and then the boots.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Never noticed it, and 100 times I've watched
Yep.
this movie
Okay.
until
Same.
now.
This
Didn't
time as well.
notice.
Yep.
Like that was the first time.
There is one other character that I don't know if it's supposed to be a thing or not. When they're in the desert, there are these like weird things with gas masks on.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if that's supposed to be like a shy guy or a sniff it. Like,
I thought it was supposed to be like a shy guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there is like a thing where I was like, well, I feel like that has to be something, right? It almost seems like they're
Yeah, why
saying
would they
people
put
from
that in
Star Wars, but they don't actually ever say. I even checked in the credits that at no point in time do they mention
Mm-hmm.
what
Gas
that's
mask guy
supposed to be.
played
yeah.
by. Probably played by the director.
That's the only other thing that I can think of that really sticks, other than Yoshi, I suppose.
Yoshi was such
man.
a bummer for me.
No,
though.
What?
stop.
I disagree.
I-
That was a puppet,
oh
right?
my god!
Yeah.
It is
No, it was a real
oh,
dinosaur,
oh,
Chris.
No, there was no computer
Wait a minute,
animation
wait,
or
wait,
anything
wait,
to
wait.
it.
That was a
was it?
real
No,
dinosaur.
it's all practical.
I'm not saying I think
not
the
100%?
practical effect is bad. I'm saying the
interpretation?
me getting Yoshi as a fan of the video game as this like little dinosaur that doesn't like
It
have any
didn't-
personality
yeah.
or character.
But with the rest of this fucking
Such
movie,
a
that doesn't
bummer.
give you anything
But
fucking
I
that
was
you
a
want.
kid when I watched
Can I
this.
tell
okay?
you, I will say one heartwarming story of all this. The one thing I remember
No.
watching this in the theater is that there was a small kid, like maybe 6 or 7, right? And when Yoshi showed up on screen,
It's terrifying.
all I remember hearing the kid going is like, "Mom, it's Yoshi!" Like immediate recognition.
Yeah.
Like he was waiting for this dinosaur.
I was that kid. I was waiting
tell you.
for all of the characters from the
I
games
found-
to show
I
You
up.
found
gave a
Yoshi,
different reaction.
a little frightening.
I love
Huh?
this Yoshi. This is the Carnosaur of Yoshi.
The Carnosaur.
This is.
Carnosaur.
It is.
That's so true.
It's the Carnosaur of Yoshi's. I fucking love it. It is frightening. This is a scary ass Yoshi. He's a dinosaur and he will eat your foot.
Yep.
Well, I mean, Koopa makes a point to tell
it
Daisy
was
at one point,
frightening.
and this is the line that I always remember from the film is the one where he said, "Yes, that's Yoshi. We've had him forever. He's a pet. Just don't move your hands really vigorously, or else chomp." Like that, like he still is operating off of like
Yeah,
lizard carnivore thing that if you were to pretend like you were a dying rodent, he would just kill you.
Well,
His
because
instinct would be to chomp you.
in this world, as is established in Dino Hatton, where we're at, because we're talking about the characters and the characters that we love. But we're in Dino Hatton, where we're at. Like you do see, like instead of rats fighting over food, you see like little dinosaurs fighting
dinosaurs,
over
yeah.
food.
Yes.
So you get the sense that not every species has evolved as far as dinosaurs go. Like some of them are still like
This is a-
rodents or
I mean,
or
yeah, but-
pets or dogs. Like Yoshi
Right.
seems like he's a dog.
Can I say something though? But the weird thing about it though is that like it's not like in the mammal world everything is like primate based. Like everything that exists in the dinosaur world is a dinosaur. It's not
Lizard based.
Because when-
amphibious.
Here's the
based.
thing that you don't know. This meteorite, like we said in the skit in the beginning,
Jesus.
speciesist. And it only affects reptilian species when it hits the earth.
Yeah.
right. But
That's it.
my question is one, why are all the creatures that exist, all this other species that exist in this world only dinosaur species? Why are they not like I
Well,
don't know,
I'm gl-
fish or something?
I'm glad you asked.
or-
No, I'm glad you asked because there is
There's
only
no water.
There's no water apparently, which I don't know how they
Desert.
survive. They're in
They,
a desert.
they have to be drinking water.
There's
though.
some, yeah, it's probably out of a cactus.
They make a point to say that there's unlimited water on
There's
on
there's
Earth.
limited.
or unlimited on Earth. That's one of the reasons.
Yes, yeah, they definitely are going for resources.
Yes.
Gas and
But
Yeah.
what I gathered from it was like again in the beginning
Would
they
there
said
be oil?
they said that the meteorite hits before mammals existed, basically,
Well,
or
just
if there was very,
very,
few.
very small. Like
So
a
if there
skunk.
was mammals that existed when this that transferred over to this other dimension with the dinosaurs would be the apex predator, and I would
Mhm.
assume eat
yes,
the mammals.
yes, which is
Probably why we have so much meat throughout the film, and it's like it's a big thing. Like, do you have any veggies from Daisy? You know, and her little thing.
which is funny because they do have veggies.
yeah, they
Which I
do.
never quite understood. I'm like, but
Yeah.
if no one is a vegetarian,
because
there's no
I think
water.
it's suggesting basic.
Yeah. where did he get like carrots and
Did-
broccoli?
I feel like he went back to Brooklyn and then came back with a plate of veggies. The only thing that makes sense.
I don't know. I just feel like Dano Hatton has the most
Good
character
vibe. It's a good vibe.
out
for
of
sure.
any characters in the
Yep.
movie.
I think, yeah, overall, very entertaining.
They
Like,
spend a
you
lot
really
of
get
time-
thrown into it.
Well, they spend a lot of time in this movie on like the world and the set design when you get down there. I feel like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel too cheap.
Yeah.
No
The set design is the shining
star.
star of this.
100%.
100%.
So-
Like it's well done. There's a lot of world building and lore that you can kind of establish through it.
Agree.
Like like even the way the energy works in it, like how there's these like electric grids that are definitely not like secure in any way. Like you could step on the wrong wire and get killed.
Mhm.
But like everything, like even the cars are running on this weird kind of like electric grid system. Things are sparks are flying everywhere.
You said the guy from Blade Runner did this?
Yes.
Well, does that have to do with a lot of that?
100%.
Okay, I'm wondering if he had a lot of influence in like the development, I guess, of the world of Super Mario Brothers.
Well, also I want to mention at this point that we are in Dino Hat, and the Mario Brothers, there has been an APB put out, and they are about to get arrested for just being plumbers. But the interesting thing about this, and I guess this was a fight between the directors and the studio, because we're probably halfway through the film at this point, and they're not ever once seen in the uniform yet. And I guess in the original script, or the rewrites that the directors were doing, like these guys were never gonna be in the
red and green,
the most
red and green
recognizable looking costume that's attributed to these two characters.
Yes,
which I was like,
I fucking loved.
I didn't remember. Okay, again, I only saw this movie once, so like I actually didn't know if they ever showed up in those costumes. Like when going back into this, I was like, I can't remember if it's the exact costumes that they wear or if it's some kind of weird fucking
as an 8-year-old kid, he
adaptation
was
of
it
it
when this happens. 8-year-old me was so excited when they were on the elevator, and like John Leguizamo, I always loved Luigi had a backwards hat.
Yes,
and Mario had like the
again, something I could get down with in the games if they ever went that route of younger brother, older brother.
My problem is it took too long to get to this.
Oh no, it did, and we're not even there yet. So Mario Brothers, they get the meteorite piece stolen, which they had taken from Daisy when she fell through the rock.
They're
she
stolen by Big Bertha,
stolen by Big Bertha, and then they are arrested, and then they're arrested with Toad.
Yes.
Then they.
Fuck, your fucking face, the way you're struggling.
The struggle to put this in order.
Face, so they get arrested, then they get processed, then they end up on in jail
with Koopa.
with Toad, and then Koopa is like, "I'm your lawyer. Where
Great
the fuck's
scene.
the rock?"
I told you he was a slithering.
And then that guy pops in like, "Nobody touches Koopa," and then they de-evolve Toad. Then they fucking break out. They try to de-evolve Koopa for some reason. The machine fucking goes like blap blap on off, and he doesn't even get de-evolved at all.
No, he gets
he gets one eye. He gets a reptile eye.
He does get a twitch.
He gets a reptile twitch.
Yeah, he was only in it for a few seconds.
Then they steal the cop car, and then they make their grand escape.
Which is a pretty cool cop car, if I must say.
It's a very cool cop car.
It's pretty cool.
This whole chase scene was fantastic.
I will say that one of the reviews that I read for this film talks about how there's a lot of action in this film.
Yeah,
there is.
But that it's meant to hide the fact that the plot is so meandering and weird.
Which is 100% accurate.
Because they had most of the reshoots were the action scenes.
Which is like,
makes sense.
We gotta make this better.
Yeah.
Just put, what can we do? Go ham on action.
Just put action in and put. Hey,
put your Honey I Shrunk the Kids soundtrack in there.
Fucking
it's so true.
And like the most dystopian, like future looking place. It makes the music does not fit whatsoever. They're just like,
I so thought that the
church
whole
it
time.
up, just church it up, make it family friendly.
So it's a family movie. Don't you feel like it's family friendly and fun? The fucking band's rolling through the town.
That was like the one executive is like, no, listen, guys,
music is terrible. We gotta
upbeat this
make
music.
this fun.
We gotta do some like weird.
The original soundtrack was really just drone tones.
Listen, anytime the Mario Brothers are on screen, anytime these brothers are on screen and they're in some sort of peril, I went. You got it? Nothing serious. We gotta lighten this tone.
I don't like the way
this
this
tone's
feels.
too dark. It's too scary here. Yoshi is gonna eat my face. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And so this is where we discover that there's a whole other world beyond this, and there's a desert.
Right.
Yeah. Which is also very Beetlejuice. They
Very
end up in a Beetlejuice desert.
Can I say? Yeah, it is. It's this desolate desert where
so much
the sky is almost always at dusk for some reason.
Yeah.
So much was ripped off of Beetlejuice in this movie. If you don't think the Goombas were ripped off from Beetlejuice,
so is the city inside?
I am assuming it's in some sort of like
because when Koopa's playing with their globe, that shows, the
Yes.
globe of their world,
He
which
just shows
is
like this
desert and then
desert.
a city sitting here. I'm like, well, is that city inside of rock?
I imagine. I
'Cause it's
thought it
always
was
dark there,
underground
too.
because they pop out of like a tube. It's not
Yeah.
like they pop out of. It's not like they drive to the outskirts of the city and they're like, "Wow, the."
I
thing's
think we've
changing."
well established that in Dino Hatton, time does not exist. You can literally go kidnap a girl, take her back there, and come back to Earth in a matter of seconds.
Sure,
apparently.
but what I'm saying is that you never actually see the sun in Dino Hatton.
Well,
No, it's too much
listen,
dust.
It's
and
this
smog.
number one. Dino Hatton is the city that never sleeps. Okay,
Sure.
and by never sleeps means
But-
they don't have any sun.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah, it's a different.
It is always. It's permanently night, which
How-
makes me think they're
how
in a
they grow those
cave,
crops.
basically.
Again, we don't know how they grow those.
I don't know
crops.
how they grow crops.
Anyhow, we're at the desert.
They're in the desert and they're being searched. They're being searched after by the cousins at this time, Iggy and Spike.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for them.
I love those two bickering.
They're-
The way they both kind of try to one up each other to
I just think that,
convince
like-
convince Koopa that the other one's the idiot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everything they're saying is just so dumb. Like Jesus.
It is. They are pretty. They're probably my favorite characters in the movie.
Yeah, best chemistry, best like performed. Whatever
Besides
they
the
did,
kidnapped girls, yeah, best chemistry, which is
Yeah.
so odd that it's like these weird characters. So, anyways, they're in the desert. Is that the first time we see a bomb?
No, we see a bomb at the very beginning when they first arrive there because
Yeah.
Luigi's like, I think this fungus is trying to give me this.
The fungus repeatedly tries to give him the bomb.
Yeah.
I think at 3 different instances in this
Yeah.
film.
So Koopa at this time is still relying on his cousins to go after this meteorite piece, and not the one competent person that he has in his gang, which is it? What's her name?
Lena.
Lena. At this point, he's about to turn to her, and he evolves his cousins to make them smarter, which and then sends them off into the desert to catch the plumbers and
Mhm.
and bring them back, and the meteorite piece, not knowing that the meteorite piece is with Big Bertha this whole time in the club that she's a bouncer for, which number one, her work ethic terrible. You're on the job and you're dancing. Like
I loved that.
Yeah.
I said, now that's a real bouncer. Enjoy myself until
Yeah.
some shit needs to get dealt
Yeah.
with, and then go back to enjoying
That's
myself.
the dominance she had on that crowd. She's
Yeah.
like, I can go dance and no
She
one's gonna
could
fuck
dance.
around.
I feel like her presence
Bertha's here,
alone
nothing's
was
happening.
well known. Like
Yeah.
you don't
Right.
walk into the Thwomp Club and expect that you're
Mario
not
don't
gonna...
give a fuck though. He's willing to go get
No.
a dance.
Well, because at this point, like they capture the cousins
Mm-hmm.
because they're not as smart as they're supposed to be, and they make a kind of a deal with them, like, hey, let's kind of work together, and we're gonna get the meteorite piece back. We just want the girls back. And they go to this club, and they hatch a scheme to get the meteorite piece back, which is Mario's gonna woo
Absolutely.
Big Bertha.
He's
I
got
guess
guess what?
he's got
He
the
does it.
moves.
he fucking does. Dude.
I
she
don't know
does it.
that I agree.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. How smooth of a cat do you got? And I'll use the word cat. How smooth of a cat do you got to be when a girl, not a girl, a woman, when a woman hauls off and like just fucking slobber knocks you in the face, and then you got the cool to walk up to her and be like, "Hey, baby."
I liked it.
Let's
I
try
liked
again.
it.
Yeah.
That was smooth as shit. That was like, damn, Mario, you got game. Like, Luigi couldn't do that.
Well, he's
Wow.
with Daniela, right? Is that her name, Daniela?
He's
Yeah, he
Yeah,
knows he's
yeah.
not gonna cheat.
Girlfriend.
He's just
Look,
trying to
I
get the
know.
meteorite
I feel like
piece.
though. I feel like she can be tough. So he's probably used to getting like beat up a little
You
bit.
think Danielle abuses him?
Yeah.
I don't think
So he's
Daniel
ready.
abuses him.
No, I think the answer
No?
is what Cody
No.
said. He's got game.
He's got
Okay.
game.
He's smooth. He's been around the block.
Also, like I love this.
Plus,
is,
that was established with him coaching Luigi.
Yeah.
At the
this is
beginning,
also
too,
one
like-
of the easiest scenes to fall in love with, just because so much is going on. The '90s dancing.
No, yeah.
Very,
Every movie had a
which
had
is
a
like-
synchronized dance. To go
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm in the background, so I just move my arms and twitch my head.
That
like
looked like the
this.
most painful dance. They were like
Like,
shooting their heads like.
So many people breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Like,
And then, like, I don't know if you guys noticed this either. Like, that fucking club, like in the background, was adult. Like,
Yeah, it
there,
was.
there's like
Very
dancers
adult.
in bikinis
Yeah.
with
Oh, for
tails
sure,
and
for
like.
sure.
This watch through, I was like, "This is a kids movie."
Yeah,
Fuck,
exactly.
this
It was like-
scene. But it was a strip club, so
It was supposed
Essentially,
to
This
be.
is
Yeah.
this is a pretty tame compromise.
And they walk out with their Dumb and Dumber suits of like the yellow and red, like
Yeah.
See, and at that point, I was
gloves.
like, why didn't they put him in the red and green? Like
The
that-
directors were. You could tell at that point the directors were. They were like, "Fuck you, we'll never do that. We're gonna put the one who's in fucking green. We're gonna put him in red, and the other one we're gonna
ketchup
put.
and mustard.
We're gonna put in
bitch.
fucking yellow. You piece of shit. No one tells us how to direct our motherfucking movie. We are Jankel and fucking Morton, and you will realize. You will realize we are the directing to the force. To the force. I don't even know if that's the right way to say that in French, but we are the to the
I
force.
can't wait to @ the director on this episode when it releases.
Called Jankel and Morris.
Jankel and Morton. We're Morton.
Whatever.
Jankel and Morton sounds like a law firm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
it
was
does,
going for.
yeah.
Accident.
Don't you dare.
Have you been in an accident?
Have you been in an accident? Do you need a Mario Brothers film directed? We got
Did
you.
you make
Yeah.
an accident
With
of a
Jankel and
film
Morton.
called Jankel and Morton?
But
We'll scare everybody off set.
I love this scene. It has a lot of charm to it. From like the coat check
Yes.
to when the bad guys run in to the let's run a football play to toss the meteorite around.
Mhm.
To this I think my favorite character, like they give hardly anyone any character arc throughout this movie except Big Bertha. In a fucking matter of seconds, they give her character arc. It's
She just wanted someone to truly love her.
right, dude. It's like this guy
Very simple.
This guy paid attention to me, and then gave me the night of my life on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Essentially,
I'm more
'Cause
than,
he
I'm more
stole
than,
from-
than a tough guy, you know.
He stole
She's
from
got a
her.
heart of gold.
he stole from her.
Yeah,
so you
he
think
did.
she would be
She stole
pissed?
from him.
Yeah, but you think she would be pissed about like you stole
Listen,
it
listen,
back.
hey everybody, game
Yeah.
recognized
Not like-
game. That's
Yeah.
all I gotta
Oh,
say.
And
there must be a
essentially-
good reason he stole that.
Essentially, he stole it back, and she's like, "Oh shit,
She's
my
like,
lady boner is
"Well,
even
that's
harder now than it was
Oh my
before."
I need that plumber to come work my plumbing.
yeah.
Oh, these pipes are stopped up. I better
Yeah.
call a plumber.
Got to
Yeah.
release some pressure.
Yeah, that's what it was, dude. And she was and like in a matter of
Yeah.
like 2 scenes,
Yeah.
she goes from that and then she
That's how. That's just how good Mario is.
and dude, that's what I'm saying. His game is on point to where this woman fell in love in a matter of
I mean,
seconds. To where here, use
Have you
these
seen
boots,
Daniela?
Escape.
This all makes sense now. My question has been answered.
Yeah, it does make sense. His game is superior.
It's fire.
That's how it's fire. That's how he got Daniela.
That's
Or it's
absolutely
water, but you
yeah,
know.
or it's water, ice.
What do we
whatever.
think about the boots? Like, what was that supposed to be a callback to?
The boots.
How they jump high?
I think they tried to
boots?
realistically establish like how the heck does Mario, who is known for his
Jumping.
jumping ability,
Running and
how do
jumping.
we actually legitimately show them off as being jumpers?
yeah.
They don't show
Didn't
this off in
connect it.
Brooklyn.
I thought
well.
the boots were cool though.
They're
I
cool.
fucking love the boots.
The boots are cool. They're cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're pretty goddamn cool.
They're the way that you have to. I mean, you in this world you have to use boots. You can't have them. It can't
Dino Hatton.
be. Hey,
you gotta have
here
boots.
in Dino Hatton, if you eat this mushroom, you'll be able to jump high, Mario. But
I
it
also-
only
I
works
also
on
love
mammals.
that they adapted the fire flower to be like these like fucking like bazookas.
Fire,
Yeah.
fireball guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, cool because the '90s and it's a gun and you're a kid, but like,
Well, did you notice like the guns were at least the de-evolved guns were the scopes.
Yeah,
they were
the
the Nintendo
scopes.
They're the
scopes.
super
Yeah.
scopes. Yeah.
Which I
that
thought
was
cool.
fun. That was
I thought
fun.
was cool.
I liked
Little
that.
little product
Isn't that what he
placement.
used to order pizza too?
He orders pizza on the telephone. I think. I don't think
He
he
uses
uses.
what-
He uses
I-
it-
He uses
Oh,
something. He's
they
like,
this
uses
is
the
not-
scope. Oh no, she uses the scope to like select
Oh
like
yeah,
options
there's
on
a
the screen and
weird
shit
way
like
that they interact with screens.
There
it's
was
not
a
a
na-
mouse. It's they use like a like
It's a laser. It's like
it's a
some kind of-
laser gun, but it's
gotta
not
be.
it's not a zapper. It's not the NAS
No?
zapper. It's like some other weird thing that they
Okay.
created. Yeah, the Super Scope is a
Laser
legit
mouse
peripheral that they
gun.
used. That was a laser gun that
Right,
didn't come with the
right.
Super Nintendo, but it like eventually came out.
Yes.
right.
That clearly was they were trying to. I guess they were trying to promote it at the time because that made sense. The Super NES had only been out for like a year at that point.
Mm.
So they end up Lena ends up because this is actually a cool story in this movie. We haven't talked about Lena a lot. Let's kind of get into her side story because her side story is like she's actually probably the character with the most development now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because she starts off with obviously she's in love with Koopa. Koopa somewhat is at least Lena feels this way, is attracted to Daisy,
which I do think he is.
but there
Koopa?
never really is. Yes, they never really established that.
There is that scene
The only
where he is with her and he starts explaining to her where her lineage comes from. He is very creepy during that.
I'll
whole-
agree, it's creepy,
yeah.
but I don't know.
Lena
I guess
is
I didn't
convinced.
take like he
No.
was like. I thought he was trying to be threatening.
Lena,
I think he was trying to be a little bit of both. Here's the thing. I think Koopa is the type of person that like isn't getting locked down by a woman.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I just didn't see his actions said I want to hook up with Daisy.
No, I don't think he wanted to make her queen or anything like that. But like,
I feel like
Lena-
he just wanted to threaten her.
I think he knows
Yeah.
only one way of
Lena's character though it pretty much establishes that that through her jealousy, she's obviously jealous of whatever treatment Daisy is getting from Koopa because she believes that her and Koopa together can merge the dimensions, that they don't need Daisy, and like she's obviously attracted to Koopa, and she gets to a point to where that attraction turns into, well, if you won't love me, I'm going to accomplish the thing that you want to accomplish, and then you'll love me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I'll merge the dimensions together. And she goes off on her own, and she goes after the meteorite piece, unbeknownst to Koopa.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the one who enters the club on her own terms at this point. Koopa doesn't even know this shit's going on. And she's the one who goes after them and chases them off to when they get the boots on. But she ends up with the meteorite piece.
Can I say though, like ultimately, I just felt she was such a forgettable character when it's all said and done. Like I
Lena?
forgot what she was doing,
I like
where
her.
she was at, or what she was working on, or
See,
anything throughout the film.
I agree, but also I do like her character. I loved her look. I loved
Right.
her like
Yeah.
She looked like a
space
lizard.
dress,
She looked like
you
a
know,
lizard
like-
more
Yeah.
than anybody else.
I will say,
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
out of all the actors in this film, I feel like hers was the one that was trying to establish itself the most. Like, I do feel like she's chewing up the scene. Like, she was definitely, anytime she showed up, like, she was making her presence
Yes.
known.
I feel like-
Agreed.
I feel like she was like, listen, everybody else here is drunk.
yeah.
This is
Like,
my
I'm gonna be professional.
this is my time to be the professional, and I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
act my ass
Yeah.
off.
Which is
Gonna
because
nail
which I
it.
appreciate.
it's
which I
interesting because
appreciate.
interviews with her also state that she like hated fucking working.
Oh,
on
I'm
this
sure
film.
she did.
But I do think she did try to put her best foot forward. Her performance is great. Like
Yeah,
for
I
what
agree.
She
little that
shines
she's
in the movie.
yeah.
I would say I really like come away with like remembering her character, not necessarily the scenes she was in, but her look, her like her presentation of it.
So at this point, if I remember, do the Goombas capture them from the club, or do they get away from the?
No, they get away on the boots.
Yeah.
They're sneaking around the.
But how the
Goombas.
fuck do they get back into Koopa's
'Cause they gotta
lair?
go save
they
daisies.
jump in. So they get to the roof of the club. They then jump off the roof into the dump truck, which happens to take them straight to Koopa's.
Yeah.
We're at Koopa's castle now.
So, which brings me to when they actually put the uniforms on, and this is kind of where I wanted to get to talk to because it's such a fucking weird scene. They like get the fungus, and they're like, "Yeah, all right." And Mario makes a point to say, "Yeah, but if we're gonna save the princess, we're gonna do it Mario Brothers style." And then they go to a random fucking locker, and they just happen to find the Mario Brother uniform. Like he knew they were in there. It's a very weird thing. Like, let's do it Mario style, which is apparently breaking into some random people's
Yeah.
lockers to get
the
maintenance
costume.
workers' costumes.
To get the outfits, man.
Which there's no other maintenance people in Koopa's place that are wearing these
I mean,
costumes.
Well, wait.
did you see the pipes and the state they were in? Like there are no maintenance people left.
I mean,
Yeah.
they
True.
do
They
look
make a
for,
statement.
but they do. In this case, aren't they looking for tools, right? Because
They're looking for
Mario
tools
has
and
an
they're
idea
looking
that
for
he's
a
going to
disguise.
freeze the AC unit.
Yes.
and that's what they do. And then
Yeah.
all the
Which-
then they start getting the Koopas or not the whatever they're
Goombas?
Goombas are coming after them. So then he instinctively looks in a locker and he just happens to open the first one that had two pairs of fucking outfits
Do it Mario style. Anyways, but
that
also
fit him.
I love this idea because I went too deep with this idea. When Mario's like, we're going to freeze the pipes. I'm like, genius, because they're reptiles. They're
I thought
cold-blooded.
the same shit.
They're going to be
I
slowed
did
down.
too.
They're going to be slowed down, and they're not going to be able to move as fast, and they're going to be lethargic. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then none of those effects take place.
That
No,
does not
You did
happen.
not
happen.
need to freeze anything.
No.
It
did
did
Yeah,
nothing.
affect
him doing the
them.
pipes did nothing other than make the
oh.
escape with the girls a lot
Of cool ass scene.
a fun ass ride.
A
Yeah.
fun ass scene.
Can we just bring that back up again about slides in movies at this time?
Yeah.
Like how every movie has to have a
Oh,
fucking...
Adam's Family
anything-
had
anything
it.
You gotta
like-
have some kind of
essentially
water
be-
slide or sled situation.
This has got to be
through
a slide
tube.
escape.
Can I tell you
slide
something?
escape.
I hope that Universal rethinks their process and says, you know what, we need a Super Mario 1993 movie
slide
ride
ride?
where it's a roller coaster where you go through the pipes.
It's probably what they were angling
It won't
for,
fit
dude.
any
You're
of the
not-
other
you're not-
aesthetic, but I don't
That's such
care.
a good point. They're probably angling for a
That's
ride.
actually brilliant. So once they get in the building,
And
They
then we
find-
finally have Mario costumes, right?
yeah, we have
That's where
Mario
we're at.
costumes. They get in the
Red and
elevator.
green.
Can I just say, let's talk about these costumes real
What do you
quick.
think?
I fucking
I loved them.
absolutely love them.
You
I
do?
fucking
I do
love 'em.
kinda love
them.
fucking
I pretty much love them.
Yeah.
They are like
I think this is the best you could do with like
A
the
live
world
action-
building and the live action.
Because I will tell you
Adaptation of
something.
the-
There,
of the
there's
actual
a
costumes.
Mario cap above your head over there on that little. Like,
Oh, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
the cameras can't pick that up.
I see
But
it.
like, yeah, like I have worn that kind of cap. It doesn't look anything like it does in the video game. It looks
No.
ridiculous.
That's-
The cap in the video game doesn't make sense. I like that they kind of turned them into like these like newsboy caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
And I
Luigi
love
had the straight
Luigi has
ball
the
cap,
Yeah.
backwards
turned
ball cap,
backwards. And then Mario had like the newsboy cap, which I
Yeah.
thought fit perfectly.
Yeah.
But also just like the
Bob
blue,
Hoskins
the
looks
blue
good in
mixed
that.
with
Yeah, he
blue
does.
mixed with the green, the blue mixed with the red. Like I love the way that they looked when they actually put like
Yeah.
that's when it's
I
exciting.
also
Like the
appreciate
fucking
that
Mario
the,
Brothers are here.
The costumes are dirty as fuck. And, like it all
Yeah.
looked
Yeah,
like
that's
legit.
true.
Like you know.
No, I like
Kind
it.
of
lot of fun.
patchy a
Yes.
little bit. Yeah.
But they get on the elevator, and it was part of our intro here. It's one of my favorite scenes, it's just so goofy when they are in the elevator and they're not seen by any of the Goombas coming on from the elevator from both directions.
Yeah.
Somehow
They just keep hiding behind.
they just keep walking
Goombas.
behind them, but then they get them to sway and start dancing with each other. It's so
I don't understand why they started doing that.
I don't
It's
either.
Such a pointless scene.
because they're so
Yeah.
dumb.
I understand that. I love the scene itself for like the gag of it
Yeah.
all, but
Yeah.
like
Silly.
from a plot, like I don't understand the motivation as to why Luigi at any random point is just like Mario. I have an
This'll
idea.
work.
They're probably not getting caught if they just sit there. Like
Yeah.
these Goombas are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
They're fine. They're gonna leave the
No,
elevator. They're gonna
although-
move to the
although-
side.
I'm
hold on,
sorry,
hold
you're
on,
not gonna
hold on.
entertain
Wait,
yourself
Wait,
while
wait,
you're
wait,
done?
wait. We're missing a very important point. We're establishing precedence so that later on in the movie, when music is played, the Goombas will stop being soldiers and
yes,
start
I
dancing.
understand that.
It is a running gag
If-
throughout the rest
Yeah.
of the film.
That
But we
takes
have-
that
but-
takes some real forethought from Luigi, some real like
Yes.
4D chess strategy to be
Yes.
like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back to this and I'm gonna I'm
what
gonna
this
get
movie
all
is
of the
made of.
Goombas
4D chess.
to become like dance slaves.
That's be Chris's review. Well, this movie is
Doing this
4D
just
touch.
because.
I thought Chris would be like, I thought I saw the pinnacle of cinema when I saw Come and See, but then I saw the 4D chess that is Super Mario Brothers 1993. Yeah, so they get to the dance, and this is essentially where we're heading towards the end of the film here. They meet back up with Daisy.
Mhm.
Daisy has found out that her father was de-evolved into a snot rocket, basically.
Yeah, like
It's
a fungus.
disgusting looking, by
It
the
really
way.
It looks
is
like a
fucking
booger.
Gross.
It's
Yeah. It does.
fucking nasty.
When it comes down,
and it
it was
comes
like,
out and
ugh.
looks all
It's all
like
goopy.
fucking
super wet.
Gel.
I'm sorry, it just looks like too many things.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant.
It's not pleasant.
But we get to meet the king, and then
Do we meet the king?
No, we
just-
don't. Well, we
don't.
meet the
don't
king.
Meet
We
the
do
king.
meet-
We just meet a booger hanging from the
Yeah, that's
ceiling.
the
This
king.
is my dad.
But the king is sentient enough to give a bomb to
and essentially
Luigi.
Does what
Daisy
he can.
so he's just physically de-evolved,
Yeah.
not mentally.
Daisy at this point is like, listen, your girlfriend, who is really the star of this film, she's trapped on the 51st floor, Mario. You need to get on the elevator and you need to go save her and the rest of the girls from Brooklyn. And Mario gets
From
on the
Brooklyn.
elevator and he runs up, and that's where we'll take a break. Because when we come back, we'll talk more about Super Mario Brothers 1993. And we're back talking about Super Mario Brothers 1993. Where we left off is that we had found out that the Mario Brothers had found their uniforms and they were
Yeah, Mario's
No.
on his way to
with the
save
days-
Danielle. Right?
Danielle and the rest of the Brooklyn 5 or 6 girl, Brooklyn Six that we like to call them here.
Brooklyn 6, yeah.
The Brooklyn Six that are in the cells. And this is one of my favorite parts of the movie because it's so just goofy and fun, and it makes the Goombas goofy and fun. Is the escape on the Goomba mattress. It is a Goomba mattress.
Yeah.
I love that they pointed out that it's a Goomba and it's so long. I love that shit. It made me laugh.
But they get on the Goomba mattress, and we get like this montage sliding through pipes.
More
of-
wacky music too.
Yeah.
More
With it.
wacky music and goofy moments to where like my favorite part of this is when he sticks the wrench in the hole and it flips the mattress of the Goombas, but then the lead Goomba just decides to ride the other Goomba
Yeah.
The other
down.
Goomba.
I just feel like they stupidly fell on top of each other.
Yeah.
And just were just like, I can't stop.
It's
Ah.
very
And it just follows him
slapsticky.
down that way.
Yeah,
And it's so
very
good.
slapsticky.
To the point to where like I even love how cheesy and 90s it is when they fly out of the pipe on the mattress, everybody on
Sailing
it.
Yeah.
through
Sailing
the fucking
through-
city.
Through Dino Hatton, safely landing,
Yes,
no one
yes.
injured.
Taking out a few extra
Yeah.
Goombas on the way.
Right, landing right in front of King Koopa, perfectly
Yeah,
timed.
yeah.
And we're landing right in front of a perfectly placed display case full of rocket boots with a bunch of ammo. So
Right.
now I've got weapons.
Everything's set up so well
It's
for
perfect.
everything.
Yeah, this is like the crowning
Hey,
ending here.
listen, you're not gonna get out a Dino Hatton without a little bit of luck.
A little bit of luck.
You know what I'm saying? So
Couple
at this point,
wrenches.
we kind of get like the final standoff between Koopa and Mario, where they at some point the worlds do.
Yeah,
combined.
Lena does make her way to
Yeah.
the
Yes.
meteorite, and she does, for the most part, succeed in getting the meteorite piece into
Yeah.
the whole meteorite,
Right.
which does merge the thing, except she dies.
Best death,
Dude,
too.
that
What
death
a
is
great
so
death.
cool.
Yeah.
When she gets her skeleton gets thrown into the wall and just stuck
That was a
there.
laugh out loud moment for
Yeah.
me.
I love that
I
part.
mean, and the joke that Luigi
Same, but it
makes
was
is just
funny.
like, she really makes an impression. Like,
Yeah.
I was
Oh
just
my
like,
god! I was like,
course.
oh.
Well, because Luigi and Daisy are going after Lena to stop her from
Yeah,
putting in
yeah,
the
yeah.
meteorite piece, which they don't do, while Mario is going after
Danielle.
Danielle.
Right.
And so
Then they come back at the same time. So that I'm gonna say that meteorite's gotta be really close.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think it's fairly close to the. I mean, at least from the initial part, it just seems like the Mario Brothers end up in the world.
Here's-
They're immediately in Dino Hatton.
Here's what you
Wherever
don't
that
know.
meteorite is, it's somewhere very probably underneath Dino
Hmm.
Hatton.
Here's what you don't know. Luigi,
Yes,
he actually flew a plane in the Border Wars. There's a throwaway line.
it'll talk about it.
They talk about him piloting.
Mario, remember when you found me after I fought the battle of the Dino, the Future Wars?
The Border Wars, and
Border
now I can
Wars?
fly a plane and I fly it all over Dino Hatton to get to and from very fastly. You don't remember this? Get out of here. Forget about it. I don't know. Because, travel makes no sense in this movie.
But we get to the fight with Koopa, which man, what a disappointment!
Yeah,
of a-
Oh,
it's
oh my god!
I thought when he turns full T-Rex from the de-evolved gun.
Oh, that's at the very end. There's a
Yeah.
lot of Koopa
There's a lot that
being
works
like
up.
a Koopa fight where he's just shooting like
He's
fireballs,
shooting
low,
fireballs.
and Mario's like, I'm gonna climb up, and he
There's
won't know I'm
the-
here while
the
the whole thing's
huge-
fucking
right.
shaking.
The huge flop of trying to use the bomb for the first time.
Yeah.
Yep. Falls
But
in the.
I will say that the one thing I do liked about that about that entire scene is that how well everyone in that world understands that a bomb
Yes.
means death.
It's a big deal.
Who
It is
the
a-
fuck is making them? You know?
I'm guessing, and I'm understanding the rule or the lore behind bombs is if you wind it up and you aim it towards your target, that bomb will do everything in its power. It's the blue shell
Yes.
of
Yes.
of this world.
Mm-hmm.
It
Like
will
find
find
you and it will kill you.
Yeah.
It's the Liam
It will
Neeson.
never stop
It's the Liam
coming.
Neeson of
It
fucking
has a-
weapons.
Has a
Yeah.
very
There's a certain
particular.
set of skills,
Yeah.
and it will find you.
That's so funny. It was hilarious because Koopa gets thrown straight up in the air and then he falls down at like an angle. And,
Yeah.
like he like drifts into
He's
the
nowhere
bucket.
near that bucket.
Nowhere near the bucket. But as he came down, a stiff breeze blew him in.
I just like when they get the de-evolved guns and they
Yeah.
turn them into like the T-Rex thing.
So cheesy.
It
it looked like a street shark.
I liked it.
It did look like a street shark.
I actually thought that was the best. I mean, other than maybe Yoshi,
Well,
that was the best
funny,
use of practical
What's
effects.
funny
I
about
don't
that
know.
is
There's some good shit.
this is 1993. Jurassic Park came out this year.
Yeah.
So like in my mind, I'm definitely comparing other dinosaur things
Yeah.
to Jurassic Park.
But
so
these
like
are
this
different
T-Rex, I
dinosaurs.
was like, oof. That
These
was
are
rough.
evolved dinosaurs, so they're different. They're different dinosaurs.
Well,
But
I don't
he
know.
was just de-evolved, so he's just a dinosaur. Then.
It is weird.
Well,
that
he's
the-
like a dinosaur that's like, how do you get de-evolved as a T-Rex in a bucket that you can't fully fit in? It's gonna mess your bones up. It's gonna mess your structure up.
I
I
suppose
think the
that's
bucket
true.
is the reason why he looks so fucking weird.
I do think that
Because he does
it
go
was
through
bucket-related.
different
Yeah.
stages of T-Rexdom.
Yeah.
Where
I
it's
did
like
when he looked
yeah.
like a lizard person. I thought that was actually
Yeah.
really
Oh,
cool.
dude,
like
that's
that,
the best
if they had
part.
leaned into that, that probably would have been
Yeah.
pretty
That's
cool.
when they turn him full Koopa. Like that's the best part.
I want to imagine that in an earlier script, that's what happens. They
Yeah.
de-evolve him just to the point where he
Dude,
turns into a lizard person, and then they have a
'Cause-
more climactic battle.
Well, I also
Yeah.
gotta imagine like with how the production of this film went. When they were like, "Hey, Dennis, we're gonna need you to sit in a makeup chair for fucking 12 hours a day," he's like, "Yeah, go get someone fucking else to do it, assholes."
It's gonna take 12 hours to get his hair like
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
You don't have you can't afford my day rate for that. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm sitting in the chair for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
Because it's definitely not Dennis Hopper. That's got to be in that.
Oh, we've also just to jump back, we've also forgotten to mention that during the merging, they do end up in Brooklyn for about 5 minutes to turn
They-
Scapelli into a chimp.
They do, yes, just to get because, like I said, Scarpelli is their true villain
Yeah.
of this film. Like they have so much so that they have to go back and get revenge on him.
Yeah.
Real quick, and then
Yes.
they go back. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a segue
Yeah.
Mhm.
into the thing, which is funny because that means that now everybody in Brooklyn is aware that there's a dino world.
Yeah.
They are
And
very
that
much
people
aware of
can
this.
phase in and out of existence at
at
random.
random.
Yeah.
What implications
World
this has
was
on
changed
reality, we
forever.
do not know.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Well, actually, we kind of do. We'll get into that
Yeah,
here
I
in a
guess that's
second.
true.
But yeah, so they big fight scene. They de-evolve him, and he just turns into goo, which is such like a
Sludge.
cop out ending.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then what happens?
They immediately sprint out of there. Like,
they are out.
yeah, dude,
like
it's
the
time to
king-
go home.
Oh, and this is the part that kind of like annoyed me. It was like, if you're playing Mario 3 and you win that map, you have a long conversation with the king. The fucking king comes to and he's like, man, I gotta thank those plumbers.
Here's what I'm.
Lance Henriksen wakes
Can
up
I
for
ask
his
you-
day
can
rate.
That's it.
Can I ask Mike?
Are they guys gonna meet the king? You
Yeah.
just saved
Mike,
the
I think I
king.
know where you're going with this, and I want to ask this question. So, all of a sudden, we're just gonna introduce the element of magic in this movie with the king being de-evolved. Wouldn't he have to go in the machine at this point of
It
what we
is-
established? Just because Koopa dies.
Once Koopa, the spell is broken.
Yeah, once Koopa dies, essentially the spell is broken.
It makes
which
it-
makes no sense. in
makes
this
no
world.
sense.
Perfect sense.
I-
I was following along perfectly.
I do imagine that this was a late stage edition, and they were like, "Who can we get?" And they're like, "We can get Lance Hendrickson." And they were like, "Cool."
Lance Hendrickson's
and Lance
filming
Hendrickson
next
showed up.
door.
I am not. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. We saw the
What was he coming off
the
of?
4K cut of this.
It's-
I'm pretty sure he's
the
on a
show?
like a green screen. I think that's a green screen. I
Oh,
actually
really?
don't.
What's that?
I don't think Lance Hendrickson is actually in that set. I think he might have been green screen.
Was that Lance Henderson that played the king?
Fuck yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
I did
How
not
did you
even-
not catch that?
No, I think I think you're right. I think his chair and his
Yes.
costume is real, but everything else was just a dropped in.
I think it's a dropped in background.
this
I
dude.
think they just hired him
Oh my-
for one day.
Yeah.
They
Fuck
said,
yeah,
just
they
sit in
did.
this, put this fucking crown on, and just say, gotta love those plumbers. That's
Let-
all I need.
Is
Is
that all
one
he said?
line
Is that
from
was
you.
that the line?
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
love those
Yeah.
plumbers.
Yeah. You
What
gotta,
a throwaway! Not
imagine.
even a thank you. Not even a key to the city.
No, nothing like that.
Here's what he's
No,
doing.
this king
Because
sucks.
they left so fast they didn't even get to meet the king. Well, also, why would they think at this point, if I kill Koopa, everybody who's been de-evolved with him is going to go back to their normal
Yeah,
state?
it doesn't
They
make
wouldn't
any
think
sense.
that because it wasn't de-evolved by magic.
Wait, does that mean Scapelli now is back to from being a
I
chimp?
guess
By
so.
logic, yes.
Yeah, by logic, Scapelli's right
Yeah.
there waiting.
Well, yeah, okay. So the de-evolved guns were tied to
Koopa's
Koopa's
living.
life force.
He had a what is it they call it? A kill switch.
Yeah. If I die, you all die.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You all go back to the way you were. Oh, let's kill him then.
Yeah, that's
The worst kill switch of all time.
yeah.
yeah, it didn't make any. That part didn't make any sense.
I just didn't know why they sprinted out of there because Daisy clearly was like, oh, okay, I have the power now. I can open this shit at will. And it's like,
Correct.
what are you guys sprinting out here for? Like, go like enjoy the spoils of your victory for
What
just a little bit.
What spoils of Dino Hatton do you want to fucking?
Yeah.
I want a burger from McDonald's. It's who knows how long
Did you
they've been in this
how
world.
Everyone was
could be a day, could be a week.
Everyone had been oppressed for so long.
Everyone,
like they are
though.
like the heroes. Fuck
Everyone, no.
everyone.
There's
I'm like, they were
people.
probably worried that there would be some people coming
Come on,
after
dude.
them.
That cop that's in the jail who asked
Yeah.
them, "What's your name?" Mario and Luigi Mario. One of my favorite scenes.
How
He
many
is
Marios
definitely
is there?
he's a Koopa enthusiast. He is definitely on Koopa's side.
I'm also gonna say one other
Still,
thing too.
why did they sprint out of there? Is my only
Because you
question.
could, dude. Again, we don't know how long they've been there based on time. Maybe they just want to eat something other than
I'll
a
be honest
fucking
with you,
lizard.
And also, they're there for 48 hours, maybe. Let's assume how long
Yeah.
it took them. Like, they don't know what other factions exist within this world. Like, think about this. In reality, if you depose like a dictator from a world, someone is on
the
the
king.
sidelines waiting to
The
jump in.
king.
But they don't know the king has been revived.
They don't.
That's my point. This is terrible writing. They sprinted out of there. They
We are
should
not
have met
we're
with
not
the
denying
king.
that.
Wait,
Whoa,
But
how dare you?
I'm not going to go on a fantasy tangent and say like, well, there's factions. That's why they ran out of
Keep
there.
in mind, they think, Luigi at least thinks, he's bringing Daisy with him.
He does.
And Daisy's just like, I gotta go fucking take care of this kingdom.
is
and he's
true.
like, what? You're not just gonna bounce the fuck out and leave? And she's like, no. So I think it is in their head. They're just like, look,
Job
all we
well
care
done, let's get
about,
the fuck outta
we got
here.
Daisy, let's get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah.
I think is what they're thinking. And Daisy's
Yeah.
just like, no, man, I have a responsibility to my people.
Bummer.
Whoa, did
Yeah.
I just come to the realization that maybe Princess Peach wasn't in this at all, and maybe Princess Peach is in a different
Castle?
dimension?
Sorry.
Because if you think about it, Daisy's game on Game Boy
What?
was all desert.
No, I mean, it starts off.
So did they
in,
go
like,
that hardcore? Did they think I'm sorry.
Daisy shows up in different things, but
But I'm saying in that game, in the Game Boy game that she's actually in, it is a desert-based game. She's
you fight
Sicilian.
like Sphinx and stuff. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
like there's an Egyptian aspect.
It's all
to
desert,
it.
and I wonder if that's why. I mean, because so. Anyways, Daisy says she's got to fucking stay behind. They go back to New York. Guess what? We get a scene where Daisy
Oh.
shows back up like she's the fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
With like
The worst writing in this line is like, you're never gonna believe. Like, you give me fucking any exposition at all, just you not gonna
Can I-
believe it. Yes, I will.
And the thing
It's like,
about it,
believe
too,
what? What
is
happened?
That's right. You got to come back for the sequel.
There's
Which
Yeah.
never
exactly.
happened.
There's
Well, that's
so
their
much
fucking fault.
ego put into this scene. They are so certain.
They're so
Yeah.
confident.
They're like, absolutely, we're gonna do a sequel. Of course.
This was a
why
this was
would-
a '90s thing, though. I feel like a
Had
lot of
to.
movies set up sequels.
I agree.
in
I
the
would
hopes.
love to know if they had something planned or where the story would have
we
went.
could do a fan film. We'll just
Yeah.
do our own sequel. You know,
I mean, you could
Fuck
do
it.
it. No, Nintendo is too powerful.
there's
They will
we'll just
crush
change
you.
all the characters' names.
Crush
It will
life.
be
They'll crush you like a thwomp. You will be dead.
it'll be based on Rocky the Rat.
here's a question for you. Did anybody stay? Because again, watched this movie 100 times. Don't think I've ever seen it because I've never stayed for it before. It wasn't a thing then. Did anyone stay for the after credit scene?
No.
I've seen it before, but I didn't this time.
I didn't either. What
There
was
is an
the
after credit scene where Spike and Iggy are meeting with Nintendo about their own game, getting their own game at the very end of when the credits are done rolling.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
That's funny. I wish I would have
That's
stayed.
weird. I scrolled past the credits, thinking that there might have been one. I must have scrolled past it. I didn't.
I never knew.
Interesting.
I thought the movie was over. I let I was just letting the credits play while I was like cleaning up or doing
Oh,
something.
really?
And then it came in and I said, "Get the fuck out of here! This had an after credit scene. Like I had no
I mean,
idea."
that's cute, but like, yeah, it doesn't really tell.
No, it's just you still don't know what atrocious war is going on. Because think about this. Even with Koopa in control of Dino Hatton and that society, they didn't have really firearms except for like flamethrowers. There wasn't like really like guns. It was really like electric prod things and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it wasn't like
Classic dictator move there.
yeah, it wasn't like gun violence or anything like that. This bitch comes back like she's
Well,
literally fighting the Terminator.
It's exactly as Mike said. You know, as a power vacuum, multiple factions.
That's what I'm assuming. I'm just wondering who they would have
This is
went
like
with.
2 weeks
I
later,
think-
right?
The only
My-
person I can think of is a Wart. Right?
No,
from Sorry,
no.
Super
What
Mario
if like listen? This is because we're going adult
What
with
other
this. We're
villains
putting
are
twists on things. This is our adaptation. We don't. I'm in the mind of Morton and Jankel. We don't need them to tell us. You know who the new bad guy is? Daisy and them. They have to stop Princess Peach. She's the new bad guy. That's the twist.
That would be a big twist.
That's a fucking
If it
twist.
turns out that Peach was the villain.
Peach is
yeah.
like she thinks she's the rightful heir
Yeah.
to this land, and she's gonna take it over with
Yeah.
her Goomba army.
Because Peach is either the daughter of or related to the woman who.
Or Koopa.
No, the Koopa's girlfriend.
Lena?
Lena. They had a daughter we never knew. She hid it from Koopa, and it's Princess Peach.
There it
and now
is.
Princess Peach is coming back to claim what her father would have left to her.
And the problem is that she's lured Mario onto her side, and now it's a battle between brothers, and that's it's just a
shit!
situation. They
Wow,
have to come
brother
together
versus
as
brother.
one.
What? This sequel sounds amazing.
Dude, my
Put it
God.
together, baby.
Fucking put it, send it off. Send it,
Ship
put it in
it.
print.
Cut print.
Yeah. Right now. All right, guys. Well, what do you say we rate this Mammer Jammer? Or do we want to talk about some of the more technical aspects? We got into the costume. We got
ratings.
into
I'm
the.
ready to rate.
Yeah, I
Ready,
think
right?
rating is fine. I think we talked
Yeah.
most
Yeah,
of
put
it.
it
I
in
mean,
your
the
ratings.
big shining thing is just
Fucking
the set, I
dude,
think.
Chris, you
Yeah.
got ratings.
now.
Yeah.
You turn into real
You know what?
fucking
I'm
rodent.
on
Real
Chris's
Rocky.
side.
over there.
Ratings.
Whatever his name was. Ricky Rodent.
Yeah, real Ricky rodent.
Real Rocky rodent.
You know what I like to do? I like to do the motherfucking ratings.
Yeah.
Get
I'd
it
like to
over with.
leave.
All right. What do you say we rate this Mammer Jammer? Mike, what are we rating it?
Let's rate it bombs.
But bombs
Yeah,
makes
I think
sense.
Ba-bombs.
bombs make a lot of sense.
Cool.
Let's start with Chris.
Yeah, you can start with me. Yeah, again, this is probably like my second time watching this movie in my whole life. It was a very disjointed viewing for me. I didn't come away super clear on the sequence of events that happen throughout this movie. So, and like I said at the beginning of the show, like I do feel like the writing was super weak and just sort of very throwaway, very throwaway lines to me, and just kind of almost like you said, improvised in some ways, but in ways that made it feel just kind of flat and janky. And the comedy was very few and far between for me. I was very surprised at how dark this movie actually is in the set design and like just like kind of the elements that they incorporated in the film, like again the slimy weirdness of the fungus. Like all of the design, like the design of the worlds that they're in is all kind of even like the mushrooms growing and stuff. It all has this kind of weird viscerous like kind of feel to it, and which I appreciate the set design, but at the same time, it just like I didn't remember it being so dark feeling in look, but then juxtaposed with the music, which totally doesn't fit in the film. It feels like this fun family comedy film while you're seeing this very harsh like set design. And as a not a super fan of gaming, like but I did grow up on Mario. I definitely felt disappointed in the lack of reference to the video games in this film. I know it's like, okay, yeah, it's an adaptation. You separate yourself from the original source material, and this is just a movie that stands on its own. But at the same time, I just felt disappointed. Like there wasn't enough of that. They didn't get in their costumes fast enough. They didn't utilize Yoshi fast enough. They didn't make Koopa look cool enough long enough, and you can tell the acting and the characters are all like a little phoned in. Hearing the backstory of the movie, it makes a lot of sense. Like the sort of lackluster performances and the goddamn, we didn't even talk about it, but the editing I really felt like was pretty bad in this movie, which adds to the confusion of the storytelling element. So all these it's a lot of negativity for what it's worth. I'm giving it a 2 because I do appreciate the set design. Even though everything feels like it really doesn't fit together in this movie, there are some really great elements, like the set design. I like Bob Hoskins. I didn't love John Leguizamo as Luigi. I didn't really love Dennis Hopper as Koopa. Like I thought I liked Dennis Hopper, but as Koopa, like I don't really, it didn't do nothing for me. So, mostly for set design and production alone, I'm gonna give it a 2. But like overall, this movie's kind of not really great or memorable, in my opinion.
2 from Chris hates Mario and Luigi. Just
That's what he
kidding, no.
said. That's what he said.
He's a lot of negatives. There's a lot of negatives. That's okay. You don't have to like everything. Kyle?
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to Chris about this, and this movie falls in this category of movies that I would say include maybe like Double Dragon and Street Fighter and honestly the first Mortal Kombat a little bit. But it's all these movies that, it is very much like I said at the beginning of the show. It's somebody who read the back of the box and then wrote a script based on that, which is fine. But to Chris's point, like as somebody who's a video game fan, or even as a casual video game fan, like it was really a bummer that there wasn't more effort made to, honor the source material a little bit more. I mean, that being said, this watch through, I was really expecting. Honestly, I went into it thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna be so bored during this movie. I'm gonna hate it. It's such a bad movie. And I was like watching. I was like, I think the characters are entertaining. I think the performances are entertaining. I think the editing is bad. And the set design, I didn't really appreciate it this time around, like, until talking to you guys about it. And it's when I started thinking through, like, all the different pieces. Like, yeah, the set design's fucking awesome in this movie. So, I mean, overall, if I was to pick this versus the current version, like, and where I fall in my nerd fandom, I guess I would have preferred something that's a little bit between the animated and like with elements of this. But that all being said, I'm going to come in at a 3 on this movie.
3? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot higher than I thought. I thought that was a lot higher than I thought. That's all I have to say.
I liked it better than Chris.
You did. Chris came in at a 2. Okay.
Chris was higher than I thought.
Yeah, that puts me at a weird gauge.
Yeah. Chris rated wrong, which threw us all off.
No, he rated just fine. That's Chris's rating. Give it a 2. So why I can agree with both of you guys on almost every point that you made. It's weird. I have a nostalgic love for this film, but I think it's because there's moments of this film that I love rather than the film overall as a whole. And there's little snippets of it that I absolutely love, and there's other things that I don't hate. What's funny is I recently purchased the Street Fighter on Blu-ray, and I watched Street Fighter recently, and Street Fighter has a very storied history as production-wise, just like this movie.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, Street Fighter is a lot more fun. And I don't know if that's
I was
just
thinking about picking it actually
through adult eyes or what it is, but it's the tone of this movie. This movie takes a down, like a downtone, like just a down approach of Dino Hatton. Dino Hatton's not a nice place, and it's just kind of like this weird dark place, and they try to lighten it up. And I don't know. There's, like I said, there's moments and there's elements of this movie I really love, but overall, as a film, like watching it, if I have to review it, I'm kind of where Chris is at. I'm at a 2. Like, I fell asleep the first time I watched it. I get confused on what scenes happen where. I think that's why I just remember moments, and they're the moments I love. But overall, as a movie, it's not a good movie. It's just not a good movie. But there's fun parts of it, and I can see why it has a cult following, and I get it. And there's elements of it that are not Mario related that I absolutely love. Like, I love some of the darkness to it. Like, I do. It's just like you wish they would have been able to either go fully into it or fully the other way. And it's just being stuck in the middle is a bad place to be for this movie. So for that, it's a 2 for me. But yeah. Let's go to Mike.
I am going to go with Kyle. I'm going to give this a 3. A lot of the reason why I picked this film is based on our New Year's episode, our episode where we kind of just talked about film. Just it wasn't a review; it was just whatever. And I had mentioned that I had seen the newer Mario Brothers, and that I enjoyed the live action one better.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to still stick with that.
Oh, see,
in a weird way.
I love the animated one
because the
better.
animated one still to me hits me in all of as a Nintendo fan and a video game fan, it hits all the levels,
It
right?
does.
But it's a kids film, and this film, I don't think it's as good. I want to establish that right now. I think the animated film is better than this film, right? But I do think that, from a cult film fan and my love of cult film, that the Mario Brother film hits all these levels way more.
It does.
Also, I've seen this film now, God knows, 17, 18 times now at this point. There's no way I'm watching the animated film that many times. I saw it, the second time before I watched this film just to see if I still had the same feelings I did. And, I don't see myself watching the Mario Brothers animated film as many times I've watched this film. I do not think it is one of those films that if I were channel surfing and I stopped on it, in the middle of the film, I would be like, oh, there's Mario, the Mario Brothers movie. I think with this film, the live action one, if I was scrolling through, as many times I believe I have done, stopped on the live action film, I would be like, yeah, let's watch this all the way through. Oh, am I at 3 hours in or 2 hours into it or whatever?
I was just going to add with the animation, the animated film, that film does suffer from feeling kind of like a long cutscene.
It does.
You know?
It has its problems. I just think it's solid. As far as a plot that actually moves forward and stuff, I think it does. It moves really fast. This film moves fast too. The thing I like about this film is that sometimes the amount of turmoil that comes on a set from production and bad decisions and stuff, I feel like, cult films, the best ones are the ones that come up really organically. And this film really kind of establishes that. It is such a mess in such a weird way.
It's
and
organic
and
it's chaos.
Yeah,
it is.
right.
He's right.
But that's true. We've talked about when you know that a filmmaker is I'm trying to make the next cult classic, and it just comes off as very performative and it feels forced and it's not right. This film can't say that. This thing tried to be a marketing powerhouse, a mainstream movie, and it just had no correct marketing decision as to who the audience was going to be, and in that that's kind of where the beauty lies in this film. And that's and I don't know, I guess maybe I still have nostalgia goggles for this film, but my 3 is really steeped in that idea that it didn't follow the source material. I do agree with Kyle though that this could have been a perfect film if it had somehow towed the line a little bit better.
Yeah.
It would have, and I think it would have been beloved mainstream, not just from people who like odd movies.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Because this is just to argue one point that you made, and then we'll roll on to the end of the show here.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said you've watched the film 15, 17 times in that
Probably.
range. How many times was that as a kid, and how many times was that as an adult?
Probably 50-50.
Probably 50-50.
Yeah,
okay.
I think I watched the bulk. I would say I probably watched the bulk of this in my 20s. This film came out in 93. I was 13. I didn't watch it 17 times between the time I was 13 and 18.
I don't know, because I watched this movie a lot as a kid, and I haven't watched it a lot as an adult. And I guess my argument with that is like you said, you don't see yourself rewatching the animated version one a lot. Well, I've already watched the animated version one probably 5 or 6 times. Why? Not because of my choice, but because of my kids.
Right, of course, but you.
So
but
I'm wondering. I'm wondering
right?
I guess my point of that would be did we just see it a bunch of times because we were kids at that time, and that's when it came out on video, that's a kids movie. I gotta watch that. It's a kids movie and watch it over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why you saw it so much. To whereas it's you may not see this one as much because you don't have the it is made for kids, and you don't have the kids in the home to be fuck, put on Mario Brothers, put on Mario Brothers, put on Mario, like I do.
Okay,
so,
I will tell you this. I can tell you, and this might differ because I was much older when I saw the animated film than I was when I was a kid, right? When I saw this film, right?
True.
I remember walking out of the live action film thinking oh man, that didn't really hit all that much,
right?
In terms of what the game was about, but also kind of being yo, I feel like that was kind of cool though. It was kind of cool. The original Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
When I walk back and look at the 95 Mortal Kombat, I'm kind of it's got its problems. In a way, I think the newer one is way better. But like there is that feeling of like it hit all of the era things that I loved at that time. When I finished watching the animated film, I actually kind of felt like really like sunken and depressed. Like it felt like, yeah, I felt like I was pandered to a little bit. Like it just felt like it hit me with so many Easter eggs. It was just like Nintendo, right, man? And I was like, at the end of it, I was just like, yeah, I just kind of feel like I just like got like duped into watching like a mediocre DreamWorks film.
There is a kind of a film genre that does that. So Warner Brothers tried to do that with the movie Scoob.
Scooby, yeah, Scooby Doo.
No, the movie Scoob.
Right, I know Scoob, but Scooby Doo, right?
No, it is Scooby Doo, but the movie is Scoob. And what the reason I bring that movie up in particular with that movie is they introduced a whole bunch of different characters from the Hanna-Barbera like world. So you got Caveman, Captain Caveman, you got the Falcon, you got what the bad guy from Wacky Racers. He's the fucking bad guy of the film. But they introduced all these characters and threw all this stuff into fucking Scoob because they wanted to start basically, again, like, here's a universe. We have a universe. And I think that's what the Mario movie was trying to establish. Like, yeah, we're just like Disney. We have a universe. We got a Goofy and we got a Mickey and we got a Minnie.
Yeah. That's 100% what the plan is.
And I think that's the right decision. Honestly, I do think that's the right decision for Nintendo. I am not saying like you should not do that type of film and go back to making this type of film. What you're saying. Yeah, like it's just that for me, like I don't know, like there are two halves of me. There's the halves of me that love like video games, and I wanted to stay, or comic books or whatever, who wanted to stay absolutely perfect to that. But then there's the film lover in me that knows that the medium shouldn't just be beholden to whatever the original medium is. As it makes its way in there, I want to see a director's voice in there. I want to see a new a screenwriter's voice. I want to see new things in there.
Yeah,
and it's like you said, it's about towing that line just perfectly. And it's tough to find a film that's really ever done that.
Yeah, this one did not.
When it does, it hits.
No, it didn't.
Did not.
No, it didn't. It didn't hit this. No.
All right, guys, that's our show for this month. Do us a favor, head over to cultfilminterview.com. Make sure you get in those fan picks. If you can get it to work, you are the winner. And then head over to cultfilm_review on Instagram and TikTok and make sure you follow us there. Also, make sure you like and subscribe the show. I'll say that again. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're only on once a month, so that way you don't miss an episode. Who knows when we're going to drop them? That way you never miss an episode. So make sure you like and subscribe. Again, for the people that are still here listening, like and subscribe. Go ahead and like and subscribe. That is...
Like and subscribe.
Go ahead and do that. That is our show for this month. Remember, if you're going to join a cult, make sure they watch good movies. We'll see you next time, except for Chris.